call the special meeting to order on the recodification of the ordinances. I just texted you.
My big wall clock died.
Oh.
It's the big thing that everybody used. Dead.
We left off on chapter 6, elections. I don't know who had that chapter.
Very short.
What's that?
Very short.
Did you have it?
No, but I read through it, it's really short.
Elections?
Honestly, I don't remember. One thing I had when we was reading through it is 6-103 under Amendment A, those dates just need to be updated.
I think we probably take that out. Correct, Lauren? Because that's when they did. Because when I came on city council, the elections were in April, and then you took office right away. And then right after that, they changed it to with the primaries, and then you took office in January. So we could probably clean that up, because we wouldn't need that language, correct?
Right.
The specific dates, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Those governing body positions with terms expiring in 2017, well, they'd already be expired, so
Right.
can we just take that out?
Yeah, we can just make, we can just take out A and then B will just become 103.
Okay,
There's just, it'll just be like 102. There's just, we're not gonna label it A if there's not a B.
yeah. This general election shall take place on the Tuesday succeeding the first Monday in November. We don't need 2017, right?
Right.
And then until they change it. I know that's not the, they're thinking about changing it, so we may have to update our ordinance if they get that done. I don't know where they're at. Are you following any of that?
No.
They're trying to change them, I think, to even years, which would then change the terms again, so.
The even years?
I guess we need, but we probably need that.
We need that for in there because it's every 2 years.
Yeah. And they're in odd years unless they change it to even years.
I guess we could say elections will be held every 2 years in odd years. I guess taking out the 2017 part, that it'll be held, shall take place on the Tuesday succeeding the first Monday
In November, in
in
odd years.
in November, in years ending with an odd number.
Yeah.
Succeeding elections will be held every 2 years.
Yeah,
Does that?
everybody okay with that for now, until they change it to even years? Then we'll have to put language in there to fix the terms. Anything else?
Justin, did you have anything? I have this was your chapter.
No, not.
And I'm going to say years ending in not odd numbers, not odd years, because there have been more of those than I can get.
Remember that.
Did the filing requirements change? I don't know, it just says accompanied by any fee required by law. The nomination petition must be signed by 25 of the qualified electors. Guess we can look at that and see. The filing requirements.
If you do a petition.
Yeah, but this says the nomination petition must be signed by 25, and I don't know.
How much is 20 or 25?
I can, I'll turn around and ask her something. I feel like they changed that. Okay. Anything else on chapter 6? Chapter 7, fire. Who's on chapter 7?
Me.
You.
Was there a new one on fireworks? On the fire prevention and the open burning, doesn't the county have rules on that, Dan? Burning? Who's on the fireman?
Yeah, you got.
But no, you have to call it in.
You
You have to
you're
get
supposed
a
to
permit. Do we need to list any of that? Or,
Question I had was, when it says fireplaces, that's talking about indoor and outdoor fireplaces, I would presume.
I would assume it would be outdoor fireplaces, correct?
Yeah, it says it's,
Fire set in residential fireplaces. I guess it would be indoor or out.
this just says exceptions to having a required notification.
Okay. Cause I thought they even,
Can I get a section?
7204A, allowed
Sorry.
fires requiring prior notification exceptions. I just thought even if you had like a fire pit in your backyard, you were supposed to.
I did too, but see, some of this just seems a little too vague, so fire
Mhm.
set for preparation of food. Okay, what about bark cover? You dig a hole in the ground.
Mhm.
these exceptions?
Yeah,
You're
that's
allowed
supposed
do
to be
it?
exceptions.
Well, and if you read on to subsection B, the following fire shall not constitute a violation of this article as long as notification is given to the city fire department and city power plant. Would that not be dispatch instead of city power plant? Do we need to change that wording? And what about C, as far as the, do we fall under the county's burn ban, or do we have our own?
We're supposed to have a board that always, county is county,
Yeah.
we're in the county, but a lot of people don't see it that way.
I know it's like in some places, like if you were in a, state park, county could do it, but then the state park can override that, if they wanted to.
Doesn't it just seem like it's too convoluted? It's not simple, in my mind, it's just not simple enough. I mean, there's so many exceptions, and that you can, if you really wanna thread the needle, you can,
Or the needle?
yeah.
Well, I get like the exceptions, like if you're lighting the grill up, that you wouldn't have to call it in, and, you know.
What if someone's cooking over a fire pit?
Mm-hmm. Cause I thought you were supposed to call fire pits in, if you.
Just for like your backyard, you mean?
Mm-hmm. So you're supposed to call dispatch if you had a fire pit in your backyard going.
Well, there's been some times where it's a county ban, or except for barbecuing and fire pits.
But I don't know,
Well, if the fire pits were contained, you didn't have to do anything.
So what are the guidelines of the county, when they have a fire ban, what, do you know the guidelines or what requirement? Cause probably ours should be fairly similar, shouldn't they? You would think.
I would think, but it's never been that way.
Well, I know it's like in Nebraska, they had theirs long, last year, for a long, long time, which it rained, they still had a fire ban, and then, like I said, the state could override that just in case someone wants to be
Right,
not a nice person.
yeah.
but I suppose we would have control over inside city limits if the county put in a burn ban and we didn't want to follow it.
Generally, if the county's put on a burn ban, mostly it's put on because of wind and low humidity.
Mhm.
And downtown, you could probably burn, there's probably not much wind when you get out to my house,
Yeah.
high winds, and that's 6 blocks.
Yeah, and the difference in town, you've got people watering lawns to where it's,
We
there's,
do have, but still,
yeah, I mean, if there's a county burn ban, we're probably following suit, but.
But see, the ambiguity with that though is you're still in town.
I'm still in town.
Mhm.
But that's what I was pointing out.
Yeah.
You
I'm
can go down on
basically-
Road 14 and be in town, and you're
Yeah, for quite a ways down there.
down to Royce Peter Road, you're
Yeah.
still in town.
So,
I mean, I just don't, I mean, I would think we would have that discretion if we wanted to go different, not that we would, but.
If
I
you're
don't know.
using an enclosed grill, whatever kind of grill, propane, charcoal,
Mhm.
whatever, that's one thing, but if you're doing an open fire,
and fire pits, a lot of times are using wood.
mhm.
But it's still contained. A lot of them just burn a lot cleaner than just having an open one
Mhm.
in the ground. I just think that'd be room for common sense, which I know politics doesn't have that room, but.
And And I'm glad we have this, cause I'll be honest with you, I bought a burn barrel a year and a half ago, and I've yet to use it, because I wanted to make sure it was clear of what could not do.
As long as we're not like burning like we used to, and then burning up the barrels of the trash,
Yeah. Not on Mondays,
that's right.
it's wash day. Well,
I just think we should have our own discretion, just to,
Outside of the county?
yeah, you never know. Maybe we had good rain, but most of the county didn't.
Like Amanda said, people in town tend to walk, now I don't. But that's why I've got buffalo grass.
mm-hmm,
Admitted it'll go fast when it goes, but
It's pretty tame, it's not gonna go past the highway.
I normally burn them sandbirds off with my weed torch of my property, Lone Star. I haven't done it this year, cause it's been so dry.
yeah, really can't. But yeah, I think we should have an option.
Yeah.
yeah. I agree.
I got a question about, people that are driving really fast. Is there a law against going to excessive amount fast, going to a stop sign?
Yes, I would agree.
Okay,
That's why
that's
I'm
the part that people
open, so it don't
blow
put the
through
spice
it,
back
and
over
some
here.
is got the right of way, and they didn't turn the lights on until they actually got to the stop sign and just blew through it.
Shouldn't have still, but.
Mm-mm.
But I didn't see any ordinance on that, on any of that.
Well, there's state law.
They can blow through them, but if there's an accident, they're liable for it.
Well, I know fire truck is doing it, like, blew through the stop sign, hit somebody. I'm just saying that, the fire truck itself, I'm just saying, someone going to the fire.
Or the ambulance.
You said something in fireworks.
I can't remember if there were dates changed, you know?
Didn't we extend the time period, but I don't remember what it
Because I
is.
thought we left that, or something there about, about the dates.
This actually has real dates in it, which is probably not gonna match from year to year.
No, cause you can only shoot them off from June 27th to July 5th.
Okay.
I don't know if they
Question I
changed
had
it.
on this is approved fireworks with exception of bottle rockets, at 307. When you turn it over, 308, it shall be unlawful for any person to discharge, not, or fire any fireworks on any public streets. So which is it?
You can't discharge them on public property. So this is just saying that,
Most people set off their fireworks on public streets.
mm-hmm,
So we probably need to remove that if we
That's
don't
why
want
I'm
to arrest
asking,
everybody
because
in town.
every year I see it all over town.
Yeah, everybody does. It's the one real safe place.
Oh,
Other
yeah.
than you might get run over.
yeah.
But there's not gonna be trees. There shouldn't be trees.
It,
That's all right.
it teaches small children to move fast.
Again, another throwing thing.
So you're saying if there's a burn ban and the chief wants to put a burn ban in the city, he needs to come to the city. Talk to them.
That's the way that the
Right.
ordinance reads it, that.
Well, that's, I tried that one time, and Mike Day said there wasn't a, you weren't supposed to burn in town at all. Well, we proceeded to look that over and found out that ain't true, so.
I mean, that's the way this.
But if you let someone burn on the edges of the city limits and it glows into the county, then
Yeah.
who's gonna be held responsible for that? I sure as hell wouldn't wanna be the fire chief and said, well, my city told me it could and put a burn ban on, and the county had a burn ban.
Yeah.
You just
I mean, that's what I'm saying, I don't know that we would not follow suit with the county.
Well, we don't right now, I know, because I tried that one time, there's people right now that think the city's not a burn ban. I just heard that in the last week. I was like, well, you're technically correct.
I would think anybody watching the news and just watching the weather would think we
But I
have.
seen a guy out burning leaves today in town.
Which is, you can't burn leaves in town, I thought. It's not burning leaves.
And I guess maybe when the county adopts a burn ban, maybe the city just needs to follow suit and adopt one as well.
I mean, it ain't gonna concern me here in a few months, cause I'm obviously getting off the fire department, but the next
But no, I
guy's
mean,
gotta handle it,
if our
you know?
ordinance says that we can put a burn ban on,
Right.
if the county doesn't have the,
I think you should still be
Go.
able to put one on if you want to, as far as the county, if the county don't, but I would be surprised if the county don't already have one or the city would.
yeah, I would say the county would have one before we would. I just assume,
Cause it's changed over there, it isn't a burn ban right now, but we don't have to go through the commission. Ryan, myself, assistant chief can put on a burn ban.
Maybe what we should do though is
And I'm
say
telling you,
something
Tom,
about
it's
the
the same
city
thing.
following the county's lead on it, and we can always back it off if we don't want it.
Wouldn't that eliminate a lot of the confusion,
It would,
if it's just across the board?
just across the board, if it's on, if the county puts a burn ban on, we're in.
Dan, what's the determining factors you have right now for establishing a ban?
Well, right now it's extremely dry,
Yeah.
but,
I mean, it's pretty, okay.
yeah.
Are there any other factors, other years
It's
that
gonna
you've
be
used?
windy, all that
Okay.
falls into it. We've been on burn ban for a long time,
Except if you're
but,
grasslands, people burn off grasslands. People burn off grasslands for the state.
so, if we go back to 7204A under C, it says during dry climatic conditions and high velocity winds in the city, the mayor may declare by proclamation an emergency and suspend the burning under subsection A and B of this section, in which event burning or fires thereunder shall constitute a violation of this article. So section A would be a barbecue grill under high winds. So I would think that, does the county's burn ban cover barbecue grills? Cause that's what this is saying, if there, like, we could put a burn ban that you can't do A or B, which B would be open fires that you would have to get a permit anyways, but A would be, obviously training probably wouldn't be happening, or burning down condemned structures. But fireplaces or barbecuing would not be allowed if the city implemented a,
Well, here's the question I would have, would a grill be considered open burning?
according to this, fires set for the preparation of food such as barbecuing or charcoaling. So a charcoal burner could not use if we had a burn ban. According to,
And that's why I think that's why it was implemented the first time, so people could utilize their cooking. Or fires inside.
I haven't pulled a permit for the county for a long time, looked at one.
I wouldn't look into that and see, get some clarification.
We'd have to look, cause I'm not sure what the county says anymore. I know I brought it over here right after they did it, but did the burn permit.
See, now this one says open burning. Include on 7-204 about burning leaves when other kind of leaves.
That's under B, but that you have to get a permit for. As long as notification is given to the city fire department prior to the planned fire and authorization obtained from the fire department. So that you would have to get a permit to burn under B. Which, if you're under a burn ban in the county, you're probably not gonna get a burn permit inside the city from the fire chief, I would guess. But is that who they get a permit from? It would be dispatch. We would need to change that language as well, Lauren.
Power plant, city power plant, if we decide to change that to dispatch,
Mm-hmm.
what's in, on open burning, you can't burn leaves unless it's an approved incinerator, or branches, or waste, or animals, or other plant waste, or garbage, or paper, or rubbish.
Where you at?
7-204,
Mhm.
Article what?
Article 2. It's right above the allowed fires, open burning.
I have to call the state fire marshal and see if it's approved for the air quality report.
Yeah. I think this is open burning and then the exceptions are in A.
Well, I get it, that you have to have something to contain it, you just can't burn the leaves out in your yard, the whole thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if someone's burning leaves, they're not supposed to be burning leaves in town unless it's contained in the,
In a barrel.
And you have to get a
Yeah.
permit because it's open burning.
Yeah, 'cause burning leaves can move in a real hurry.
Mm-hmm. So that would be under B,
Mhm.
that you'd have to get a permit, but we would need to change that.
but you can burn your animal waste, correct? According to this, if it's in the refuse.
So you dead animals.
It shall be unlawful for any person or entity to dispose of refuse by burning the same within the city other than an approved incinerator construction. That says it's unlawful to burn it, and then I would think you still have to get permit according to this.
What's the air pollution emission control regulations?
Which you can't,
That's gonna be your side job when you give up the fire department.
No, it's not.
but you can't burn plastic in town, you're supposed to, but you go outside the county. The county side burns all plastic one.
Yeah.
So it kind of works. Both ways, I guess. I just think we should just have our own.
Burn
What?
mine.
I like, if you're the mayor, you decide that our town is,
I have a hard time wrapping my mind around cast iron Weber grill or or an egg grill being open burning. To me, that's enclosed burning. So I wouldn't consider that open burning. What do you think?
But I mean, it says fire set for the preparation of food such as barbecuing or charcoaling. I mean, that's a fire set, so that would be more of your fire pit. that
Fire
You've
pit,
got
yes.
something on, cause you're setting an open fire set, so that's different than
That's totally different,
propane gas, gas grill that you're
absolutely,
barbecuing or,
right.
I mean, it says charcoal, but I would still think a charcoal grill would be not a flame, not a fire set for,
it's not a flame.
But you don't get a bunch of ash blowing around the charcoal.
Yeah, that's why it's not an open flame.
yeah. Are we good on that?
That's a whole lot of discussion. Am I changing anything other than city power plant to county dispatch?
I do think we needed to,
Do you want to say that the city will follow the county in a burn ban? However, the city reserves the right to come out of the burn ban set by the county, and also the city reserves the right to go into a burn ban without the direction of the county. So we follow them as the default, but we reserve the right to do what we want.
somebody.
Does that-
I like that wording.
Makes more sense.
Okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
you okay with that?
that way whenever the county goes in, we're by default in it unless.
We did declare
Decide.
otherwise.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
The only other thing I have in here is we might need to change that age from 21 down to 18. The county changed theirs.
oh, on the,
You never be a firefighter.
that went back to,
Can you give me a section?
It's like way back, I don't know,
um,
section 7-1.
19,
65? Is that still the same, 65 and 70? The upper end?
I guess.
I
Last
couldn't
time I
be-
brought it to the council, they said they wanted to keep that in there, so.
Okay,
But that don't mean you can't change it now, that's up to you guys.
That
What's the
just means
county?
I can't serve on the fire department now.
The county, I don't know if they, I don't know. I don't know if they've said.
cause we might as well match the county, cause they're one and the same, you know.
I know, but I don't know if they say on the top limit, but the time I brought it in here, the city thought it was probably old enough to be on the fire department.
Okay,
Now, I know a lot of towns around us have,
well, this also says that Dan can stay on until he's 70.
that's right. Mhm.
What's the exception?
no, it's not like you cheap.
Oh, alright, are we back to fireworks? Do we have anything there?
May I bring up what was brought to me a couple years ago while we're in this process?
We can, I just know that we got a lot of feedback on the other pushback of not changing it, so I don't know, I mean. I guess we had a few on, David was probably on back then, right?
I'm just gonna bring it up if that's okay with you. A few years ago, I had people come to me and complaining about that it's still basically light out at 10 o'clock at night, and they don't understand why they can't set them off on Saturdays and like Friday nights and Saturday nights, because that is most people's non-working. And so their suggestion that I brought to council at the time was leaving the dates the same, but permitting it until midnight on that Friday and that Saturday until midnight, whatever dates those fall on. If that's on the 27th, if that's on the 5th, whatever dates the Friday and Saturday fall on, that's when you get to do it till midnight.
They do it anyway.
Yeah. they do
Right.
it.
I
But
just know there's a lot of pushback the other way that we decided not to change it.
there was a lot of pushback the other way, because then you would be allowing it on 2 nights rather than just 1. It's also odd to me that we're setting.
What did we decide last time when this was brought up?
We decided to leave it, because we had. So. I mean, we have the discretion from year to year that we can modify it.
Right.
I don't know that
It
we
was
wanna
because it
change
was a weeknight, it's the reason we wanted to keep it the same. From what I remember.
I just remember there's a lot of people that don't like fireworks,
Yeah.
that extending it when they, you know, I mean, people work Saturday, Sundays, you know.
Right.
People have animals that don't like them, people and veterans that have PTSD that don't like them, and I'm just like, I think that's why we left well enough alone than trying to extend that, so.
Well, and generally, if somebody's shooting them off late and then the sheriff comes by to visit them, they stop. Because of the. So, I think leave it alone, cause I'm kind of of the opinion, yeah, why not on Friday and Saturday, but it does bother a lot of people.
And I think you said a while ago, someone did, that they're gonna shoot them off later anyway.
Yeah.
So if you set it to midnight, they're gonna shoot them off to 1 or 2. You're always gonna have that group that will push the limit, so. And I think the sheriff understands that, they probably, you know, hey, you know, you need to stop that, I don't think they,
They let them go half
Yeah.
hour or so, and then they, you know,
They need some
it's gotta,
discretion,
yeah, they
Never
let it go
push
for
the
a while,
limits.
yeah. Everybody good with that? Anything
Yeah,
else,
just leave it.
Justin? Fireworks?
Where did we land on the streets?
Oh,
oh, good question.
discharge on streets and public property prohibited.
Because I think most people set them off in the street.
So why don't you
Safety.
say
For,
on public property excluding streets or something?
Streets and alleys.
Oh, we don't
I
want
don't know about
alleys.
the
Alleys,
alleys.
I would leave that in there.
We're,
That's right here.
308.
Yeah. Streets I can emergency because they're paved,
Yeah.
well, except for a couple small.
We have-
arteries.
We have our kids come in, you know where they live, they came in town because our street is so wide, we shoot them off right there in front of our house. But I need to know, because I'm on council, I don't wanna be the one breaking the rules.
I think the one on the streets, they're better than.
I mean, if people are setting them off in their yard, they're more likely to catch a tree or a shrub or it seems more dangerous to allow them.
Well, and 2 years ago, there was kids setting them up in the city park across from the courthouse.
See, that's where I would think
And
you would not
they
want
set,
to.
they set Larry's house on fire.
Yeah,
He just happened to catch it in time to get put out before it did too much damage.
that's why I think.
I still think leave park and public place. I mean, I think, I was just asking for public streets
On
specifically.
any alley or,
Leave,
alley or any park or public place within the city,
Just take public
Just-
street out.
just take public street. out.
or avenue.
Yeah, take out street and avenue.
Okay, everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Okay.
No, just take away all the fun there.
I know, I'm like,
Should
do they really patrol that? Not to give
That was what we used to do.
Sheriff's Department a hard
Shoot
time
chrome
putting
cannons at
laws
each
in, we
other.
wanna make sure that you guys are enforcing 7-3 on that. The chief of the fire department is authorized to seize and confiscate all fireworks which may be kept, stored, or used in violation of any section of this article.
How do you think to have fireworks?
That's really,
See, if you get really good
Probably the only
at
way
it,
we're gonna have fireworks.
get really good at them, and we can put on one like out at the fairgrounds or something, put on a show.
are we done with chapter 7, or are we on 8, health and welfare, who had that chapter? You have it, all right.
And how picky do you wanna be?
Well,
Punctuation and everything?
that's what I did.
Yep.
Might
I
as well
thought
get
you did,
it
so I
right.
kinda went through with it. How about changing on 8-101, county health officer may issue the duties to assume the duties? I did some looking and so it made more sense than issues. Assume the duties of the city health officer, I'm not even sure why that's really in there. It's kinda obvious if I'm the city health, or county health officer.
Yeah.
Who was the city health officer back in the day?
Really?
I don't know.
I don't know who.
Well, I think you're right. Been a while. Uh, 8203, down on the very last line, it says inquiry and inspection. The public officer needs a comma in between inspection and the public officer. And we've got a lot of places, well, several places where it says, like on 802, or 8206, first line in there says, conditions which are in violation. Shouldn't we just change that to are? Do we need the is?
Well, it says conditions and then parentheses S, so
Yeah.
that's gonna.
It needs to be condition parenthesis S. The S that's outside the parenthesis needs to be gone. And the reason that it's is parenthesis R is for parenthesis if the S applies.
That's kind of what I was wondering,
But
but,
conditions doesn't make sense.
yeah, I was having issues with that one, I wasn't quite sure. And on 8206, do we wanna capitalize, section C, do we wanna capitalize the S and it in the very last word, section
That section, yeah.
8-208? Yeah,
Better not capitalize the rest of them, but yeah, I'd say capitalize it.
and then, section 8 drove me nuts. I finally sat
I'm
down,
glad you got it done.
read it closer, and yeah. And anyway, section 207, right in the middle of the paragraph where it says conviction of any violation of, that should probably say of the provisions instead of just of provisions. And part of this is my daughter's fault, she's even pickier with English than I am. Then we go a ways. Uh, 82A07, enforcement standards. Right in the middle of that,
Hold on, I gotta get there.
You said
Okay.
8207?
2A,
2A07.
so there's Article 2 and then there's Article 2A. Okay,
Anyway, right now it says believes that conditions exist of a quality and appearance not commensurate. Maybe we should just change that to clear it up to say, that conditions exist that are not commensurate. Do away with some of the verbiage. So it would say believes that conditions exist that are not commensurate with the character of the neighborhood. But again, I'm questioning myself, that just seems wordy.
I think it's in there because we have to, I mean, the enforcement standards, we have to be able to point to something specifically when I have it in municipal court as a violation. And so if they can explain, this appearance is not commiserate with this. I mean, what conditions are,
Yeah, I like simpler instead of wordy, and
I
I
know.
know that doesn't work in court. But that was just my question on that. I didn't have an issue with it the first time I read it. It was the second time that I read through it.
So you're okay with that?
oh, yeah, I mean, I don't have a say in what the ordinances say. If the council wants to change it, they can. I think that it reads fine as is, but
Okay,
There were
I speak
several things-
legalese.
Several things that I had come across that I felt like we could probably just leave, but at the same time, if you're gonna start questioning, now's the time.
yeah.
Right, 100%.
Oh, boy. 82A12. And this is just punctuation, right on 82A12, in the very first line, after section 8-2A09, probably should be a comma in there. And fourth line down, it says, as soon as possible, period, after, we need to get rid of the period. Big whoop, but at the same time, it does
Nope,
make
nope.
sense.
Yeah.
Important.
Skip back up to 8A, or 82A11. The code is not, oh, no, it is, never mind.
I was gonna say, did I miss something?
No, I was looking up here and I'm like, I don't
This was a
see
long
it.
section and a lot of it read
No.
read the same over and over, it felt like.
I thought D was a separate section, I'm like, nope, it's part of it.
It's part of it.
It's part of it,
Okay.
I'm good.
Then we can move on to 8306, right of entry. On the second line there, it says purpose of making inquiry and inspection. I think we just need to remove the comma. And then in 307, in that second line toward the end of it, it's, found by the public officer to be in violation of section 1. Should that be section 803(2) or something? Or is that referring clear back to section 1 of the codes? I'm not sure where that's referring to.
It's referring to section 1 of the article, but I understand why that is, I understand why that is confusing, so yes, I think we should do 8-301.
301. Eight, 312. And I can see myself making this mistake when I was younger. Very last line of 312, it says the matter provided should not be manner. You read the whole line. I think it should be manner provided in section 8, 310.
Is it showing how or what?
What's that?
Matter and manner. Matter shows what, and manner shows how. Yep. So, what is it what?
Okay,
Moving on.
yep,
Section 402 then. We need a comma after weeds, and I think instead of means, it should be mean. So weeds, as used herein, mean any of the following.
good with that.
What's that?
I said good with that.
Yeah,
Everybody said good.
The weed, comma after weeds?
comma after weeds.
And then weeds, since it's
So it'd
plural,
be
needs
weeds
to be mean
as
instead
used
of weeds.
herein, then mean.
Weeds
any of the
mean any of
following.
the following.
I am gonna disagree with this, and I think that we need to change the verbiage at the front because it's supposed to be, it should read the term weeds, and so it should be the term means. So I'm going to
Go
propose
with
an
that.
alternative of saying, instead of saying mean, the term means. Is that agreeable?
That's actually clearer.
Yeah,
I like the clearness of that. And then on that same section, in E, weeds and grasses on or about residential property which because of its height has a blighting influence on the neighborhood, can we change that to which because of their height, comma, have a blighting influence? And I don't know on that either, does it matter that much? 403 has a weird thing after such in the last line,
Such
has an
apostrophe.
apostrophe after such.
So you're wanting E to be because of their height have?
Yeah, change it to their height, comma, have a blighting influence.
Which makes sense to do
Right.
weeds and grasses.
Maybe someone broke.
Maybe if they're over the, 12 inches in height, they need to have a red lantern on them.
There you
That's
go.
when you, that's when you set them on fire. Preferably after getting permission. And then on the 403, there is an apostrophe after such in that very last line.
Yep.
And 404, within the time period specified, it probably needs the word
By.
in or by in section 8-403.
Okay.
I think I'm done. Nope. I felt like this one went on
Oh,
forever.
that's how I was with the building code, I was like,
Yeah, I
Red
had to do
lanterns
all
and
of the chapters, and I had to do all of the chapters with the old code book, going word by word, line by line. So that's
And your eyes go cross.
right, which is probably why I missed like the apostrophe here or a comma there, because I
There's a colon in here somewhere. Let's see.
okay. What's the next section?
Well, the page is 822, but it's in section 505. Top line, for care of the premise is not the responsibility of the occupant. Should that be premises? Or is premise correct?
I'm sorry. Where are you?
the top of the
Very
page.
top line on that page. It would be in section B,
8505,
8505.
Okay. Yes.
where care of the premise is not the responsibility of the occupant, then the owner is responsible for violations of this code applicable to the premise. So if you change one, change both.
Yeah, and, yeah, it's on, an A also, same thing.
Well, A has premises, or vacant premise.
Does it have premises?
Well, it says it shall be the duty of the owner of every occupied or unoccupied dwelling, building, and premises
Premises
or
or
vacant
premise.
premise.
Yeah,
So should we just make them all one
premises,
premises,
change
you
them
good
all
with
to
that?
premises.
change them all the way they make.
And 506, 8-506, section B, we probably need a comma between reasonably ventilated, and shall be kept fire free from rubbish. Something needs a comma between dry and ventilated. C was the other one I was thinking about.
We have a comma period.
You got a comma period, and then right after that, you probably need a comma after provided. So they took care of it just before,
Basement dwelling.
governing
The
ventilation
use of basements or cellars.
provided,
shall be
however.
suspended unless they comma, provided, however. Dan, do you check basements and make sure that they're reasonably dry and ventilated?
And the rooms have to be at least 7 foot tall.
And that's what I was just reading.
I was like,
Bathing facilities.
The one house over there, they're not 7 feet tall in the basement, over by my place.
Is anybody's basement 7 feet tall?
What's that?
Is anybody's basement 7 feet tall?
Yeah, mine is. Put sheetrock on it. It's just tall enough that I couldn't stand there and hold it up.
Wait, did you have anything on 823?
823, yeah, between, on 32 gallon, probably needs a dash between the 32 and the gallon. 'Cause you-
Well, here's my thing is, have we ever used a 32 gallon? Cause all the receptacles I've ever had since I've lived here are way bigger than 32 gallons.
Most people use 55, huh?
Let's just talk about what we have in the alley, is it? Isn't it?
where you at? Which,
Where we at?
On I,
So maybe that just needs changed completely.
32
Change
gallons
it,
is
change
tiny.
it from,
Are those trash cans 55s?
maybe we just need it to be city provided
I don't remember.
yeah,
trash receptacle.
why would we put
I
it?
was gonna say, I don't know why we would put a capacity, we could just take out that,
Yeah.
in
Take out
between the
capacity
commas.
entirely.
Yeah, 'cause it says provided here.
With such receptacles as may be necessary to contain all garbage and trash, and so yeah, because like some of the businesses, we have bigger ones that,
Yeah, I would just
I
remove
just-
it.
yeah.
And I just have a question on the very bottom of that page. I'm just no Texas farm boy. Someone explain to me what privies are and dry hoppers and,
Where we at?
Bottom of the same
The
page.
frost-proof closets are here, but
What is that?
I think,
and what in the world's a false proof closet? A frost proof closet?
I think those would be like, outhouses, I would
Yeah,
assume.
privy
What I thought.
Privy is.
Privy is like.
Privy is an outhouse,
Well, I know it's
so they are a
privy.
public nuisance, so don't, don't put one in your backyard.
Does that need to be in there still?
I mean, I don't ever know why it's a bad idea to tell people to not put an outhouse in their backyard.
Okay.
I mean, does it need to be in there? Probably not. Is it a bad thing? Probably also not.
Okay.
I can just see somebody putting a porta potty out in their backyard,
Right.
but they have to pay rent on that.
I mean, we have slot closets in the recreational parks, so,
I like the lighting.
Oh,
I mean, I don't think it's ever a bad idea to tell people not to do that.
Well, I guarantee if they're married, they
don't
ain't
give
gonna
them
have to worry with
ideas,
it.
yeah. I think that's it on 8.
But kill them.
All that I saw, that doesn't mean that that's all there is.
just a lot of basements and bathing facilities and boarding rooms and,
And I've seen this word blighted like a number of times throughout the section 8. Is this like the King's English? What does blighted mean?
an eyesore.
Yeah. Blot out.
Yeah, as far as I would be concerned,
I'm sure it's like a legal term, but
blighted's probably the best description for anything ugly or, in disrepair.
We need a tree board.
Anybody else have anything in chapter 8?
I didn't see anything else. It was real exciting. And the few things that we found other, it just seemed like they said the same things over and over.
That's how it was when the building stuff, you had the electrical, and you had the, you know, the
And-
plumbing, and you had this, and they were
And,
just.
yeah, and eventually there's no way I would want to do what Lauren had to do. I would be so cross-eyed my head would hurt for a month.
I remember last time somebody was like, when you went through it, I'm like, in 2023?
Remember that.
That's reaching way back into the.
You'll never forget it, will you?
I'll never forget going like this a whole bunch.
Oh,
Alright. So nothing else on,
nothing, I didn't see anything exciting on eight, other than what we covered.
did we have something with trees that we talked about or no?
Noise.
Tree board.
Yeah.
There's one more
Do
forward.
we have a tree board?
We do now.
Oh, I have
Copy
one.
of this.
On page 835, under B, on number 1, it, another word that I don't think we really need to use anymore, phonograph. And then someone got awfully specific, so it's like maybe who wrote this had a neighbor using Nickelodeon.
I like that.
Do we really need to put Nickelodeon in there?
Well, somebody might have their TV on with Nickelodeon network.
Eight oh one.
Yeah, I've kinda gotten to the point right there that,
Radio receiving, set, television, phonograph, boombox, loudspeaker, drone, jukebox, Nickelodeon, musical instrument, sound amplifier, or sound device.
Can't play your radio outside, huh?
well, you can, just not real loud,
I didn't say how
but
loud.
it doesn't say how loud.
Just can't do before 7 and 10.
I'm okay if you wanna leave phonograph in there, but using that Nickelodeon, that's just awfully specific. That was pointed, you know that was pointed.
How about
I-
5? A ruckus. A ruckus shouting.
Peddlers, hawkers, et cetera, so records.
Why is drum not included in musical
It is.
instrument?
No, it's
No,
not.
drum is its own thing, and then it also says musical instrument. I'm
Oh.
not clear why drum is not a musical
Right,
instrument.
Right,
Drum is a noisemaker.
Sometimes
It is
you
not a
wonder if it
musical
is.
instrument.
So do we wanna
depends on the
take
drummer.
Yeah.
phonograph and Nickelodeon out, or do we wanna leave them in and be, I mean,
You never know. Someone might
or
have
similar
Nickelodeon.
device, I mean,
The museum might have a Nickelodeon.
you know.
Wait till that.
Well, there is that song, put another nickel in the Nickelodeon. Way too ancient.
The ruckus, shouting, whistling, yelling,
No
singing,
hooting.
hooting, or crying of peddlers, hawkers, vendors before
Yeah.
8 a.m. or after 10 p.m.
So construction and hawkers have time limits, but the other things don't.
Steam whistles.
Does it have steam whistle at that point?
No.
I'm gonna go once.
Well, we used to set off the siren for that minute.
Those were the days.
I know there's lots of people that would like that back.
It's just a whole verbiage here, just
There's-
screams 1960.
Or
Or
earlier.
Or earlier, yeah.
Steam
Some of
whistles.
this might be in the thirties and
Yeah.
forties.
Yeah.
Steam
Can
whistles.
we put an addendum to our contract with the sheriff's office that if they're going to enforce any of these, they have to show up and go, now listen here, see?
Well,
Because I feel like that would be the most appropriate way to enforce this section.
Would it just not be easier to add the time frame up at the top than to add it for
For
two
two.
things down here and not the rest of them? Just put a time restraint on all noisemakers, whether they be Nickelodeons or steam whistles.
Yeah, but peddlers aren't allowed to start before 8, but construction can start at 7. Who is starting construction at 7 a.m.?
I bet you they start at 6.
They do start at 7,
I
but
bet you they
usually
start
they
at
don't
6.
start making noise till 7:30 or 8.
I bet you when it's roofing season and they wanna get done.
Roofing
quicker.
season, we used to start at 5.
Yeah, I think they start earlier than, as soon as the sun starts coming up.
Cause it
they're
gets
going.
too hot and you can't be up on the shingles.
Now the peddler, the hawkers, that could be like 40.
From 8 AM to 8 PM, they can't be out making
I
noise.
heard too many peddlers hopping in.
I haven't heard any around, but that doesn't mean any.
No Hoover vacuum before 7 a.m.
The motor vehicles vehicles I can see, because we've got some vehicles around that need mufflers.
I like the Jake brakes.
Yeah, I'd like to see the
Sure you do.
oh,
But that's a new one.
engine mufflers.
So what time are we letting, are we letting the noise
Or
start?
are we not changing the time?
Well, I think we need to put a time,
Well,
because
depends-
I've had people ask this question before of when is too late to be making noise or when is too early to be making noise.
7 to 10
Depends
actually
on, are
makes
you
sense.
the one paying for your construction? When do you want them to start
Didn't we
construction?
talk about peddlers in a different section there?
Yeah, there is.
I was like, why do we have peddlers in two different?
Because
sections?
they're not allowed, because they're allowed to sell their wares, they're just not allowed to raucously shout, whistle, yell, sing, hoot, or cry.
Hear you on this street corner, I
Come
have
on,
for
come
sale.
We need a town crier along with the night lights.
Right. I think,
With the red lantern though,
With the red lantern.
7 to 10, yeah, change it to 7 to 10.
Everything is 7 to 10?
If you wanna blow your steam whistle at 7:01, by golly, blow your steam whistle.
I think there's another ordinance about Sundays too. Somewhere in here, I read it.
Probably.
Can't remember which one that was. Any mowers,
I'll be in my outhouse, I won't care.
the smoke don't make too much noise.
Oh,
$1,000 fine for hoot and holler.
you can mow your,
Can we add a section onto the noise that, to put signs up on the highway about, engine mufflers required?
I think there's already an ordinance about that somewhere.
I thought there was an ordinance about that.
But we need signs up in order to enforce it.
I think there is a sign actually.
There's no signs.
Yeah.
I've never seen a sign on the highway, I've looked.
Well, please don't put that on the digital sign, cause I almost ran into the back of someone stopping on the highway to read the digital sign, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But yeah, especially at my house with the trucks going through there, all of them about must be going
Yeah, I can see.
80 mile an hour
I
when
can
they
see,
hit
yeah.
there and then going by my house and they hit their engine muffler, and I would just as soon shoot them as listen to them.
I can see
Well,
that.
Do we have an ordinance, Justin, are you looking that up or?
Yeah, I'm looking up, I'm pretty sure I read something about that.
What was it?
Cause there was something about mowing at night too.
Yeah, it's,
Right
well,
here,
that's on the
exceptions,
next
lawn
page
maintenance,
over here.
repair of personal use vehicles and home repair of place of residence, which we've had that happen before.
Which happened?
People painting their house at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning with floodlights.
Or, I thought it was pools.
The lawn maintenance, yeah.
Yeah,
People try to be polite and don't, like on Sunday, you're not out mowing at 6 in the morning. I mean, you could be.
I mean, I have mowed 6 o'clock in the morning at school,
Well, yeah, at the school.
but that's still,
But you got like 5 acres, that's even more acreage than I've got at my house.
There's
that's why,
Provision for motor vehicles in, it's 2 down from steam whistles. In 801,
how far did I?
8801.
That's
No.
repair though.
Yeah, there was some.
No, 8801.
Yeah,
Motor
motor
vehicles,
vehicles.
use of any motor vehicle.
Excuse me.
Bless
Bless
you.
you. Says so out
That's
of
so out of
repair.
repair, I mean, that's not your
That's not
Jake
the
breaker.
same as the Jake break.
Sunday through Thursday, and the hours of 11 p.m.
I read something earlier about Jake Break. They had an ordinance about Jake Break
Yeah, there was.
specifically, and I can't remember now what it was.
Yeah, I did too.
Okay, well, we can keep going and then we can make note of that, Jimmy, will you make note of that? Jake breaks to come back to,
I did.
Well, yeah, if we could just get signs up so that, cause most of the truckers, there's some of the trucks go through town that are quieter than about half the big diesel pickups in town.
is that everything for chapter? 8 then?
Are we permitting, since motor vehicles is ones that are out of repair, are we permitting out of repair vehicles which make a lot of noise to drive around between the hours of 7 and 10?
According to this one,
I mean, according to this, they're never permitted. But if we add 7 to 10,
Let's put the exception down in motor vehicles.
that it's never
They are
permitted.
never permitted. Well, I would
Okay,
say
because the-
never, because maybe they're driving it to a mechanic.
because the planner permitting or causing music, steam whistles, so basically that's saying you can't play music either. Do we want to, I feel like we've had discussion about this as far as noise ordinances.
It may be easier to
During-
just leave the 7 to 10 and put that on the
Ah,
two that you're
got
gonna.
it. Chapter 14, traffic, Article 6, mechanical exhaust device. So we're not there.
Okay,
No jailbreaks.
That's my section, that's why I read
Does
it.
it say they're required?
Says they're can't have
so why,
unlawful.
So, big thing right now is families like to go out in the backyard, do the blow-up screen, do the projector, do a sound system, or have an outdoor backyard movie night. What if you have that movie going till 10:30? You know what I mean? So somehow we need to make sure everyone's clear.
and I'm just thinking, like, the planner permitting or causing of radio, I mean, if we put that from 10 to 7, that means at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you can be blaring your music and annoying your neighbors if we put a time limit on that. So I
Mhm.
think we just wanna leave this, so that way, at the discretion of, it's too loud, and then we can put the peddlers and the construction from 7 to 10.
Just.
I mean, the
change
peddlers
just
are
those
already
two.
from 8 to 10, we don't have to change that, and then the construction is 7 to 10. So do we just wanna leave it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just leave those timeframes, cause you have
What-
people
the-
blaring music at 3 in the afternoon.
That's a good point.
What about the raucous hawkers?
I mean.
The raucous shouting of hawkers.
Oh, raucous shouting about.
That's why they have a peddler.
The
Sorry.
ruckus hawkers, yes,
Okay.
Ruckus and shout.
not from 10 to 8.
And there needs to be an or between hawkers and vendors.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you.
All right.
Peddlers, hawkers,
All right.
Are we good?
Section
Chapter
9.
9, municipal court. Who has municipal court?
Larry had chapter
I don't
9.
have any notes. As far as any fees or anything like that, I mean, how do you? I don't have any information on any of that stuff. If we've made any kind of changes or. One question I did have was on 9105 was, have we ever had another judge appointed if somebody's not in town? Now granted, we haven't had any municipal court cases to speak of in several years, but
Well, I think we need to go back up to 9103, municipal court shall be held in the Cheyenne County District Courtroom. That is no longer in place. Needs to be,
are they still holding it here?
it's here, it's not over there. It's been that way since,
Since I've been on.
yeah, Paula changed that.
The city council changed? Or in such places designated?
So I've never had, we've never had it here, but your question about the absence or the vacancy, if Judge Gardner is gonna be unavailable, usually one of the magistrate judges for his, of the other counties, he gets them to fill in. And he sends out an email that explains, I will be gone from this day to this day, Judge Russ will be, Judge Schroeder, Judge, whoever it is, will be filling in for me during that time. And so,
I understand the judge, but I mean, like, an attorney or other qualified person. Wouldn't it have to be a judge?
No.
No?
municipal court does not have to be a judge.
So the court clerk is appointed by the judge? In 9107, the court clerk.
Approved by the judge, but
Shall be filled by appointment by the municipal judge of the municipal court.
it don't be appointed.
That's what I,
Is that what you're asking?
yeah, Lauren.
I don't know if that's required, I mean, obviously.
I don't know,
that's
that's what I'm like, is that?
I will look into this
Okay,
and see if it can be appointed by the mayor with confirmation, but if it needs to be like appointed by the mayor with confirmation by the judge.
because we do that with the mayor appointments,
Right,
so we probably need either
right, yeah.
take that out of mayor appointments and have the judge appoint them, or change the ordinance.
Right.
I don't recall.
I think you leave it as an appointment, but approved by the judge.
Do you want the judge appointing who the court clerk is?
Well, if we don't have it in-house, I mean, if you have a third party involved, then what?
We're talking Wyatt,
Yeah, I
that's
know,
the court
I
clerk,
know.
so,
But we appoint him as that, and then he approves it, right?
no, that says he appoints it.
That's what I'm getting at. That's why we need to change the verbiage, don't we?
She's
I-
gonna look in to see if that's a requirement, but it has to be the judge that
Oh,
appoints
I
it, if
see.
not, then we'll change it, yeah.
Okay.
But the monthly salary of the clerk shall be fixed by the city council. Even though they're not a salary position, I think we need to change that.
Monthly payroll should be determined by the city council.
I was gonna put hourly pay rate.
Just put pay rate.
But we wanna specify that it's hourly, right?
What if things change down the road and then it says, you know what I mean? If we just say the pay of the clerk shall be fixed by the city council. So that way you're not, yeah. Just in case they change employment laws and then we, you know what I mean? It
Yeah,
becomes
yeah.
somebody that's a salaried employee that we just cover whatever, however the pay rate is set by the,
The compensation of the clerk.
there you go, thank you.
I think,
The final question was the fee.
I think that A and C have gone to $70, the rest of them are correct.
You're on 111?
Yep, 9-111. I think that this, I think that's gone to 70.
What about F 251? additional fee for the installment payments of fines and court costs.
That's all, that has not changed. If you want to change it, we can, but that was not changed.
Okay. Anything else, Lauren or Larry?
No.
Chapter 10, police.
Anything?
You again?
So, 102,
Hold on. I'm sorry. I've
I'll wait for you.
gotta save my changes. For goodness sake. Give me just a second.
And make a change way back at the beginning about police department, because we're gonna have to rename law enforcement or something.
We're just gonna change the
I was
definitions then.
Going to have change the definition of police department, when, basically state, police department shall include any law enforcement agency under which is under contract with the city to provide law enforcement and to provide law enforcement services. So we don't have to change,
Yeah,
So 10-105, no law enforcement can leave the city for the purpose of making arrest or investigation without your approval.
Oh, it says know that too.
He is right.
and that shouldn't be a
Right
colon.
here.
Well, I have
Shouldn't be
a
a
question
colon
on
after that
number
either.
4
It should be
under
a period.
203.
Yep.
In no case shall firearms be sold at public auction, but can they be given away?
Well, before we even get that far,
Yeah.
10-102, second paragraph, police, chief of police, all sworn shall, and so on, shall at all times have the power to instead of power to. It just says power to, it probably should be the power to.
Maybe that's too much power.
Give them more power.
No power.
Some places are wordy, other places they leave things out. And in the next line down, it probably should say, against the laws of the state of Kansas or the laws of the city instead of just laws of the city. In 10-104, third line, where it says cause the name or aliases, that should probably be an and. And in 105, after mayor, in the very first sentence, I think they meant a period instead of a colon.
I think that's except the approval of the mayor colon,
Provided,
well, why would they even separate that into a separate,
I don't know.
do we need that
I don't
down
know
like
why
that?
I
that's
don't
a
think that
separate line.
Approval of the mayor, provided that it shall be the duty of any.
Yeah,
I think it should be provided by the mayor. Period.
there, yeah, I mean, there,
No exceptions.
why is there space in there? Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
it just needs to be
With the approval of the mayor, provided that it shall
provided,
be,
yeah, put a comma
just-
after mayor.
yeah, comma, and just keep
And
going.
remove the spacing so that it's one sentence.
Yeah,
I think it would be a semicolon,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I
but
agree.
Still, I mean,
I agree.
make it one paragraph.
Yep.
It needs changed.
10-106, I think we need to change that. Sherman County
Hold,
Jail
hold
being
on,
a city
hold,
jail.
hold on. You guys are giving me corrections and then not letting me type the corrections.
Well, come on, you gotta keep moving.
Okay.
I don't know that we wanna specify a certain jail.
We don't
Is
have
it-
a jail.
Well, they use Sherman and they use
Rollins.
And so I don't know that we wanna specify, do we have to specify a
I think
city
it's just
jail?
whoever's got one open.
Do you know that?
Not off the top of my head. I can.
Should we
Could you
check
just
it?
add Rollins? Either
I don't know
sheriff-
if we have to have like a city
Specific.
jail, you know, if we have to designate something as a
Okay.
city jail.
But Sherman County doesn't have a, yeah, they have a Bastille.
That's true. That fits more
Honestly,
with,
I
that fits
still
more with the
remember the old
language of our
Bastille.
code if we change it back to the old
I
school
wish they had
1930s.
No, we'll check here,
You probably
actually.
remember the old jail over here.
And everyone who goes there feels awfully
You
blighted.
know where the old jail was?
Well,
Where the
I
night
don't
jail
Not that you feel blighted. Ah, you might feel blighted.
What are you in for? I didn't have a red lantern on my house while I was moving it.
My Nickelodeon was
I was playing my Nickelodeon.
in a loud,
I know,
raucous
I was
manner
sitting in my privy,
while hawking my wares.
all by myself.
Listen to your Nickelodeon.
Okay,
arrested.
we will check on the jail.
Article 2:10-201, toward the end of that, instead of by any manner, should that be in any manner? And do we, it's probably legal on 10-202. The legal verbiage probably likes the after a period of 90 days. Wouldn't after 90 days be good enough?
I think the legalese of after a period of 90 days probably is.
Why can't you have firearms be sold at public auction?
What's that?
I said, why can't you have firearms sold at public auction? The county is sold.
Well, that was my question, if you can't have a public auction, can they be sold private?
No, I've seen where the county.
Can they be given
the
away?
sheriff- The sheriff in Sherman County had public auction,
Oh, they did?
and they sold weapons through a, you know,
You have to have a
as a
license.
dealer, but
Mhm.
Licensed dealer.
but it's still sold at an auction. You could go to any, you bought the gun, but you had to go take it to a dealer.
And isn't there like a 3-day waiting period before you get it or something also?
It depends on what you got.
Well, this says they may be sold to a firearms dealer who maintains the appropriate federal fire, so I suppose you would have to go through the appropriate person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, could we get, while we're right there on that one, maybe we should get rid of, it says other weapons such as knives, et cetera, get rid of the et cetera. Well, other weapons is just using knives as an example, so.
Shivs?
Isn't that a knife?
Yeah,
Foodstuffs.
Icicles?
I do think ice picks.
I don't know.
Is that,
So we either need to list more weapons and put including but not limited to,
Yeah, because, I mean.
or we need to leave the etc. Because if we say other weapons such as knives, there's a principle of law called expressio unius ex exclusio ulterius, which means if you express one, it explicitly excludes the others. So
The et cetera is necessary.
Is it out of the realm of possibility that somebody could have a hand grenade? So I don't want that sold in the public auction. You know what I mean? So you need to probably list them specifically.
does the etc. not cover public hand grenades?
Well,
It's legal to have
Yeah.
right here it says firearms which are available for disposition. I mean, I would think a grenade would be along the lines of a firearm of some sort.
says other weapons such as knives which are deemed to have legitimate value may be sold at auction. I know a lot of people who wanna buy things like handguns and stuff.
Mhm.
I would just,
Foodstuffs.
or would that be under D, would that be considered a contraband?
It'd be
Yeah,
under explosives.
Explosives,
Yeah,
narcotics, et
okay.
cetera.
Identification, firearm to be sold at public auction, okay.
Foodstuffs. Just foodstuffs.
I think I heard it on Nickelodeon one day.
In your privy? With your red lantern.
Some green slime going on.
Question that foodstuffs. If there's a
203.
better wording for that than
Under the
foodstuffs.
203, under E, items of pharmaceutical nature, I think we just need to remove a comma from that. And the foodstuffs, it said probably needs a comma after the if sealed and undamaged.
Foodstuffs is a word, and it,
Foodstuffs,
Foodstuffs.
correct, and
Sealed and
pursuant
undamaged.
to, according to Merriam-Webster, it is defined specifically as the raw material of food before or after processing.
Foodstuffs, if sealed and undamaged, may be provided in the appropriate social service agency. But it shall not be auctioned.
I'm sorry, Randy, I was looking up if
Foodstuffs.
foodstuffs,
no, you're fine.
so I didn't, there's supposed to be commas.
Now, there's supposed to be, should there be a comma after the undamaged? Foodstuffs, if sealed and undamaged,
Comma,
may be turned over.
yes. Wasn't the one above that though?
The one above that was probably removing,
pharmaceuticals.
from pharmaceutical nature. I don't know that,
A pharmaceutical nature, which comma on that comma, yeah. That comma needs to come out and be moved down.
Mm,
on 301, B, we probably need a comma after gathering. Cause we've got party, gathering, or event.
I'm sorry, section again?
301,
10-301.
B, party, gathering, or event, there probably should be a comma after gathering.
I don't think on or, because and or is saving, so I don't think you need a comma after, before and or.
I looked that up because I was gonna.
It's depending on whether you wanna use the Oxford comma or not, the Oxford comma would go after gathering. There's
What's the other one?
there's
What's the Merriam?
two different styles. So, do you want me to see, I will put it there as a comment to check if the Oxford comma is used throughout the document.
I
Okay.
wouldn't, personally, I wouldn't even worry about it.
So we don't wanna go there, do we?
And down below in 302, third line toward the bottom, or toward the end of the third line, it's got 24 hours. Should it have 24 spelled out in front of the numerical 24?
No, you only spell out things that are 1 through 10.
Gotcha. And.
I mean, I can if you want me to, but then I'd have to go through all of them.
No, that was a question.
You know how I know
had.
that? I had a professor tell me that last year.
Yeah, that was just a question I had, so.
I always put the numbers, that's just me.
And what drives me crazy is I grew up, you had 2 spaces after a period,
Mm-hmm.
now you don't, that's 1 space. I'm like,
That's for when
makes
it,
these-
that's for when it used to be
I
a
still have
typist.
two spaces.
Mhm.
Yeah, all these arbitrary
I'm
rules.
never gonna break that.
I can't.
And 303 would be the last thing. Oh, no, there's a comment missing down below. 303, right after the section 10-302, it says a subsequent police response or responses is necessary. Could that be changed to one or more subsequent police responses? I guess it would be responses are necessary. Like, really, it's just a matter of changing words around there.
Verbiage.
Does any of this stuff get like grammar checked once it gets written?
No.
In household terms?
What we're doing.
Or whatever, it's like they go and put it all in.
Can we just do what we did the previous one with parentheses S, parentheses R?
Yeah.
And we probably need a comma under cost and collections on 304, where it says the services performed, the cost should have a comma after it, and other such information that may be required.
If you're using the Oxford.
I'm done.
Okay. 11, public expenses.
I'm using my eighth grade teacher.
Okay, under 201, 11-201. It reads
Hold on,
correctly,
hold,
it just,
hold on, hold on.
the technology that's talking about here seems outdated. I don't know if there's a way we can update.
Is the Uniform Public Defense Code edition of 2022 correct?
No, we update that with an ordinance every year.
So do we need to go ahead and update that to the most current? Sorry,
Yeah,
11-101.
yeah.
And then update the ordinance number probably, huh?
Mhm.
Okay,
So, and I don't know too big about the verbiage of the technology, it just seems dated to me. And then under 202, climbing of the water tower. A person who shall climb the water tower shall on conviction be deemed guilty of violating this section and shall be fined in a sum of not to exceed 100 or be imprisoned in the city jail not to exceed 10 days. That seems awfully cheap to me, awfully low for someone climbing the water tower. It'd be in my opinion that we up that dramatically as a strong deterrent. Last thing I'd want is now that we have 5 cities and one newspaper have it on the front page, somebody killed in St. Francis because they were climbing the water tower and fell. So what other kind of a strong deterrent we could have?
There hasn't been anybody climb the water tower in a long time.
I know, I'm like.
There hasn't been anybody who dug a privy either.
But
Well, I
there
don't know.
was
They
people
might
that.
you know of.
That I know, well,
Well, I know kids who used to climb, back in my kids, when they graduated high school, there were kids who climbed the grain bin.
Senior,
Mhm.
whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, not so much the water tower as the grain bin.
Grain bins
Yeah.
are more
I
like.
don't think it matters what price you put on there, cause there'll be some that just do it.
Somebody's gonna do it anyway, if they're
But it
going
says
to.
not to exceed, so you could bump that up to not to exceed 300, and that just means it can't
Yeah.
exceed that, you know?
It just doesn't seem
I mean,
much
to
of
be
a
fair,
deterrent.
everything else that doesn't have anything specifically in it is not to exceed 1,000. Every other provision, if you violate it that doesn't have a specific amount, it's up to 1,000.
So we could just take out that.
You could just take it out, and it would be up to 1,000.
Okay,
That sounds
Okay.
reasonable.
yep. Shall be fined or imprisoned.
Okay, make it happen.
I'm not sure
So-
that you could get up there on that tower with all the junk hanging on
I
it.
I was
know.
gonna say, if you're gonna do it, you better do it now before they put the $1,000 limit.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, but
Sorry.
senior
if we get
72
out of
well,
here before 10 o'clock,
Senior 72
Challenge
is coming up
accepted.
again.
Let's go.
You couldn't even get me to stand there and look at that.
Actually, it's kind of fun being up that high.
all right.
Okay,
Let's
under
get done by 10,
11-405, I'm gonna pull a Randy. Says the person in good faith determines that he or she is to perform his or her duties. To me, it needs to say his or her, especially if it says he or she before it. Is that right or wrong?
His or, yes,
I think you're right.
I'm sorry, I need a section number again.
11-405. There's at the end, determines that he or she is to perform his or her duties.
That's all I have on 11.
Yeah, Anybody have anything else?
Nope.
Who has 12?
Chapter 12 is Larry. 13 is Larry.
12102, I don't know, does that need to be changed from police to law enforcement, or is that covered under what you were talking about earlier?
It's, wherever it says police, it's gonna include law enforcement, yeah, so we don't need to,
So we don't have to change it.
no. I mean, otherwise we'd have to go through and change it everywhere in the code.
Right.
And it just seems to me to make more sense to put in a definition at the beginning of the code that says police includes any law enforcement agency contracted with the city of St. Francis to provide law enforcement and code ordinance services, code ordinance enforcement services.
Yeah, cause there's a lot of mentions of police
Yeah,
and law
yeah.
enforcement.
Well,
And so that I don't have to go through 400 something pages again, we're gonna put in one definition at the
It's
beginning.
called finding like,
I don't know.
I'm sure it's probably a standard, you know,
except then you change
but-
things you didn't intend.
Right.
language has not been updated for.
Does anyone have ChatGPT?
Yep.
Have what?
Ask her, what's a more modern word for wantonly?
It's, no, that is a,
Very legal term?
yes, it is a
Okay.
legal term. So there's willful conduct, there's wanton conduct, it's a level of culpability.
Okay.
It's not something we can take out. I mean,
Okay.
you can change the level of culpability if you want, but it is a level of culpability.
Okay.
Which one's worse? The wanton is worse than the willful?
No, the willful's worse than the wanton. Well, I mean,
Wantonly is an adverb meaning to act maliciously, recklessly, or without justification, often causing damage, harm, or waste. It
But if it
implies
is
a
legal
deliberate disregard for consequences, rights, or morality.
right, so it's, that is what Amanda said, so it's kind of as a disregard, like you know what you're doing, but you're doing it regardless of what the consequences are, willfully, or you are intending to cause those consequences.
And that word is used in court.
Yes, it is a term of culpability, it is, negligent, reckless, wanton,
Okay.
willful,
Can you
premeditated.
Can you discharge a firearm in the city limits? I don't know if you would. Can't do it.
Oh, it's not a park where you.
Yeah, can't do it in the park, but you can do it
That's a
anywhere.
safe space.
That's what I said, if I'm gonna get shot, I'm running to the park.
Run the park quick.
But I ain't gonna run very far before I'm done.
But don't yell too loud after 10.
12-110.
Wait, have we had hunting in the city park?
No, but I could see like Keller's Pond, you know what I mean, making sure
Oh,
that you would
okay.
have no hunting,
Having eggs.
roadside park, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I would think those would be on the outskirts,
Yeah.
edges that maybe you'd want to.
Sorry, Dave.
You're fine.
One.
12-110 on the second line. At the very end, it says unless authorized pursuant to.
Two,
I don't know what we do about this roadside park committee.
Who's on?
I don't know if we've ever had one,
Yeah, we do.
What's that?
roadside park
Yeah,
committee.
we
I'm
appoint them
on that.
every year, yeah. The
But
mayor
Who's
appointments.
on it?
I'm on
Sure,
it.
I am.
Cause Jen had asked to be on it, but we didn't know if we could have
So are you the city employee then?
I think Mike's on it.
Mike Myers, the
Mike's
city
on
clerk,
it.
cause remember cause
Have
Jen
y'all
said
met?
she
You're
would
right.
be on it. Did we
Randy,
ever-
have y'all met?
No,
No, we've never,
We have one, but they don't meet.
that's right.
Okay.
we have one, but yeah, as far as I know, we
That's-
probably should, because we were talking about the park stuff in the bathrooms.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was driving at, is that I don't ever recall.
I don't
Perfect.
think it was ever, yeah, we've never met since I've been on.
Let's get it right,
Since
fellas.
January.
Keller Pond, to be honest with you, as far as any of the requirements on any of that stuff, I have no clue. put together by the state's not really involved with it anymore.
Well, and then we're gonna possibly address some of that if we review the lease.
Well, I'd be curious
I
on
mean, the
this
fishing
length when
stuff
it's
is
in,
all,
The what?
like this length, I mean, is that all still?
That's just what
That's
I'm
all-
getting at,
that's all
I don't
state.
even- I just say leave it alone because of the, that's where the past code said. I mean, without actually contacting the state, I don't know if there's any change, but I mean, it's not, the state doesn't provide us any service in that.
Okay.
Apparently they never deemed appropriate to have a meeting,
What's that?
roadside park committee.
Deemed it appropriate?
Yeah. So the
I guess I missed that.
board shall
As
meet
its
at
members
such
deem
time and
appropriate.
place as its members deem appropriate.
The very last one.
yeah. But we probably should at some point. If Mike had ever, I'm pretty sure it's Mike that's on it.
Yeah, because remember Jen had said she would do it, we were short with one person. We didn't know if we could have
Two
If-
city
two
people.
city people, two city
Why not?
employees.
What's this right here?
So is there a president for that group? Would it be you, Dan?
One city
Suppose
council
once they
person,
meet, they
a
can,
city employee, the rest
president
of the
is
members are
recording
our
secretary.
committee.
Maybe I'll go to their first meeting to make sure they do it right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that.
Now that
anybody
you
else is
understand the
ever
Robert's
appointed.
rules.
They gotta be at large.
Put Eric on the roadside park committee. You can appoint her. Yeah, I think you already did the other park committee.
Killer
Yeah,
Pond.
Cover Pond. Okay,
I don't actually know who's in charge of them. I thought, Carla was in last time we were meeting.
yeah, I don't know.
Carla Lampy?
Yeah, 'cause that's when we took all the bushes out up there and did the trailer park.
Well, and Kerry Swigert, wasn't he on there with the Frisbee golf? He was on that committee.
I don't remember seeing him, he just came.
He's up way back. Carla's still on the council?
Probably, she should have been the council person that was.
But we haven't done it since I've been superintendent.
I had a question about the St. Francis Wildlife Area. It's on 12301.
Yeah, but I mean, we're,
It's
it's
out
all the way
here
that
on
way.
River
on
Road.
the
Is
river
that,
road.
is that actually, that didn't have anything to do with the city, does it?
Does the city own it?
It's the southwest quarter of the southeast quarter of the northeast quarter.
And the east 200 feet of the southeast quarter of the southwest quarter of the northeast quarter, and the south 100 feet of the northwest quarter of the southeast quarter of the northeast quarter, all in section 21, township 3, south range 40, west of the 6th prime meridian, Cheyenne County, Kansas.
See, I don't know if that's county or if that's state. You know where it's at, out there,
Kinda, it's
go
over
past,
close to,
yeah.
close to Shades,
Yeah.
isn't it?
No.
You go
Where
past
you turn.
Vandals and then
There's
go
a
back
turn in there, yeah.
It's not very big.
I haven't been, I think I've been down in there once.
I guarantee if you want chiggers, go there.
I've seen state guys down there before.
Huh?
I've seen state people down there before.
Well, that's what I'm curious about, is why we would have to have it in here.
I mean, it's
don't
designated
think
as
we
a
have
St.
any.
Francis Wildlife Area, I mean, I,
I don't have a problem leaving it, I mean, there's nothing, I don't think.
Is
we
it
have-
within city limits?
No.
Huh?
Is it
No,
within?
it's out in the country, that's why I figured it was county. I think it's state,
it's state owned,
State,
but I mean, I
yeah,
don't know
I've
if we
seen
have
state
designated it as our
wildlife
wildlife
people
area.
too.
yeah. So I really don't think it pertains to us all, but
Something we
Put
can
it
look
in
into.
here,
It's there for a reason.
it
It was,
kinda covers us if nobody else wants to cover it, and there's an issue down there.
yeah,
whether or not we'd actually have any authority though.
But
Yeah, that's the jurisdictional question is what I,
Let's check into it and see.
okay.
Cause I mean, there may be a reason and we could sit here and discuss forever and if we don't know the reason, whether or not we have to have it or we don't have to have it.
Are you sure it's down there? Are you legal? I don't know that legal street, not looking at it.
I would have
Are they
to,
talking about out here where the gun club is?
No, down by,
Well, no, but
By
that's,
Vanderbilt's.
if that legal's right, I don't know if that legal.
I don't know if the legal's right either.
The gun club is also in the wildlife area.
mm-hmm,
And we do own that.
I guess I didn't realize there was another wildlife area here.
Well, I'm sure that's what they call it, 'cause
yeah.
So,
Here,
You talking about out on the west side of
Dash
town?
311.
Yeah, the gun
Oh, the
club.
gun club, yeah.
It says any person having proper fishing license and person exempt by law. Who would that be, a person exempt by law?
There are some exempt.
anyone that don't.
Talk about those who will allow fish.
Those who are grandfathered in not to have one.
I think they had been.
I think there was certain-
Anyway, that's probably a state question.
I just what, and I could be all wrong, I just don't know if they're considering the wildlife area back here, there's no ponds back there though, of the gun club. I don't know, I've always known the St. Francis Wildlife Area to be that
That's one of
area
the.
out there by Shays, past Vandals.
Yeah, it's on the river and there's some ponds down in there.
You have anything else on that? You're looking at something?
it might be in the city limits.
If you were born before 1931, you don't have to have one.
Amanda,
Fishing
you
license.
can look at this.
Oh, really?
Or under 17.
Thank you, that's what I was trying to.
Yeah, I looked at
17?
just 21.3.
That's what. Chat.
I just pulled up 21.340 and it's giving me
Mm-hmm.
these ones, so I mean, if it's anywhere in this vicinity, it's in city limits. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't have, it
I'll
doesn't
just
show,
look at it tomorrow,
okay,
yeah.
but I mean, it might be in our jurisdiction.
I could do
Yeah.
military, the city.
Cause I didn't think clear down south would be
I was
those
gonna say,
legals.
maybe the
I thought it had
military
been close to
would be the
town, but
exception,
Oh.
I'll look it up.
Yeah,
or veterans.
Okay,
Still talking about the wildlife?
yeah,
yeah.
okay, move on.
Native American.
Article 12-401. I think the Article 4 needs to be changed to the St. Francis Aquatic Park.
That's what we call it.
And it's been clarified with me as far as the pool board membership, I think we're good there. Is this what you and I talked about as far as on the planning board? Is this fine? That's what we're gonna do this year.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think we're okay with, do we need, I guess, do we need to,
Bless you.
do we need to address whether it's in 12503, whether it's the assistant city clerk or treasurer or somebody else? I don't like the verbiage serving as advisors.
Well, they are, cause they're not voting members, so they're just,
So they're just on the board, or basically on the board, but with no voting rights, is that what you're telling me?
Being
They're
on
just
there, I
a-
kinda liked it.
Yeah, I was gonna say they are advisors, they're just there to
Okay,
oversee board activities and where the,
so we don't need to change anything on that?
I don't think so.
The PBC, Article 6, 12-601, or whatever we're at, what do we do about these dates? Because this says initial terms expiring, but I mean, this PBC is gonna stay open.
Well, that's a question, can I ask a question, about, a former meeting, because no question about former meeting with the park? The ladies came in.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The question I have is, well, the PVC has done such a tremendous job with the pool that, it's gonna be paid off 10 years early. And they're planning to disband.
Well, they can't disband it. I don't think
That
they'll
was,
disband.
the last meeting we had, that was their goal, is to disband.
But see, it's set by the council, so the council would have to decide.
Yeah.
Council,
The
so
board
that,
cannot,
okay, so that's what they
the
didn't
board
know.
cannot, yeah.
So I'm wondering, could we connect them with these ladies and see if they could give them a hand or some insight or some ideas, having already gone through all this with the pool?
PBC's primarily was designed to handle the finances. What I've been told is it's probably gonna have to stay open in the event that 10 years down the road, if they decide to do another big project like the pool, then they're gonna have to have a public building commission. Now, whether or not it stays active or it can be set
Disbanded
aside,
and then-
disbanded,
But
It'd be
another
like the
big
roadside,
project like a
be like the
$1.7
roadside
million
park
park.
committee that never meets.
Yeah, well,
Just the
the
public
park
building
committee-
commission, we appoint people to
Yeah.
that never get
Looking
together.
But I just, I mean, I was reading it, and thought, oh, wait,
I realize that.
I wonder if that could work.
Projects,
Yeah.
so it may fit under there at some point,
Did we
once
wanna
they get that far.
jump back to the theater where it just says that one council member and the assistant city clerk or treasurer serving as advisors? Should we have the actual city clerk go? Should we just put city clerk, assistant city clerk, or treasurer? Like, should we just add
Sure.
that
so you
somewhere?
have the option, yeah.
One of the
whatever you-
three can go,
Yeah.
this, cause
Yeah.
we've had the city clerk, we've had the treasurer, so just one of the three can go,
Yeah.
okay?
David, I'm unclear on that too,
I know.
about PBC, because I've been told one way, and then I've had some other people say that they, like you're saying, think that it'll probably be disbanded.
But going to that PVC meeting, there was some really good minds in that
Oh, yeah.
board, and I thought, that at the very least, they could be helpful creatively with ideas.
But to my knowledge, up until this year, the last meeting or so, PBC's been the same people. But we had somebody get off the rec commission, so we had to appoint somebody else off the rec commission, but I think it's been the same people from day one. That were tied in the pool, 'cause we had to, basically the way that happened is it ran through the rec commission, and then to the PBC, and then the PBC.
Okay.
Yeah, cause they were talking about how the funds were moving, and they weren't sure how things would work.
But that was what you gathered too, wasn't it? They were looking at disbanding. But I just think if you could get those two entities to talking to each other,
Keep it alive,
yeah.
but, you know, and maybe the pool committee doesn't need it right now, but they may in a year or
Correct.
two. And if it's,
I'll have to find
it'd
out.
be easier to keep than it would be to shut it down and restart it.
Right.
Amanda's right, it would have to be a council decision.
Okay.
Something else?
But I don't even, no, I just don't see, I mean, those dates in there is the only thing that don't make any sense to me. Because technically the terms were supposed to expire, but we're well past 2018 and 2020. So I don't know if we need to say anything about,
Right, but then it says that, I mean, it sets it for when they're gonna be, when their elections are. I mean, so it expires and then the terms are for 4 years. So then the St. Francis Rec Commission would expire in 22. It expired in 26. It'll expire in 30. And then the opposite for the members of the community. And I mean, it sets what years it expires. So I mean, I guess I can I don't have a problem with it being in the past
Okay.
because it's what establishes in what year what people are going to be elected. I mean, if you want me to put one of them the initial terms expiring on January, I mean,
It
I
just
don't-
changed January 2020 to January 2024 to get it to the next 4-year term if they're 4-year terms.
right.
Update it to the current.
I guess, I mean, I just don't,
What I'm getting at is nothing's changed, with the exception of one individual. So
right. I mean, I don't,
If you're not worried
I
about the
don't
dates,
think that
I'm
it
worried
needs to
about-
change. I mean, we
Okay.
can if you guys really want to, but the purpose of it was to establish what years the elections of each, the rec commission is one set of even years, and the community at large is the other set. And so that's the purpose of those dates in there.
Basically, David, in order to get the school people involved, the countywide, it had to be run through the school system, through the rec board. And then the PBC would take charge of the funds from there. So it's passed down through the rec commission to the PBC. Or to the, yeah, I think that's right.
Streets? Go ahead. Nobody? Was that Bud?
Larry had streets.
I had streets.
If streets is chapter 13, Larry had streets.
I apologize, guys, cause like I said, I don't find my stuff that was here. I know they printed me copies of stuff, but I don't see any of that in here.
Sidewalks, we had talked about how unclear it was, and do we want to change that? We had the instance where they took the sidewalk out,
Well,
and we had stated that it had to put the sidewalk back in because that was our understanding of the code, but it was a little unclear. Did we ever add language to clarify that? I thought we had talked about it.
I think we talked about it. I don't know that we had done it because I think that we had.
We were waiting for this.
I think we were waiting for this. Give me 1 second.
Did we decide they had to go back in, if it was already there, they had to go back in?
That was the way it's been as long as I remember.
so we're talking about sidewalks in my section of it is, and I wonder why this so streets.
Bicycles on sidewalks?
What streets?
But bicycles on sidewalks in certain areas unlawful. It shall be unlawful for any person or persons to ride any bicycle upon the sidewalk located on Washington Street between Dennison Street and Adams Street.
Keep them off of Main Street, so they're not riding.
So just right downtown, is what it's talking about, okay?
Yeah.
So you need to stop riding
Well,
your
but I can
bike
see it every day
downtown.
with school kids,
Oh, yeah.
so,
You're not
Well,
gonna-
those motorized ones aren't supposed to be on sidewalks.
yeah.
They're supposed,
You're not gonna kick kids off the streets or off the sidewalk.
are you looking to see where that should be?
Mm-hmm.
So we on 102 right now, 13-102.
Um,
13, yeah. Most of this, from what I remember, is pretty straightforward.
Would we just add it into 13102? I mean, I feel like that would be the,
13102,
But there's
The
a
grade?
13105 condemning sidewalks.
I don't know that you want it in the grade.
So, I don't know, but you
You're
want
talking
to
about the street grade on 102.
I think 13105.
right, but we're saying, but I mean, we would put in that any sidewalk taken out would have to be put back in at the grade, at the original grade.
Permit
Do you remember the one we were talking about, just north of the park,
Yeah.
that they took it out, and I was pretty sure we said that.
We told them they had to
we
put it back in.
Put it back in.
Mhm.
But this 13105 states that
105 talked about condemnation or reconstruction.
when any sidewalk or opinion become inadequate or unsafe, the
We
governing
just
body
need to
may
add
adopt
in,
We need
Added into 101 that it's, that,
in the place of the law, in the place
I think
of
we just
condemn-
need to add it in, don't you, that,
Because the question come up.
so like 101A, like 101 capital letter A, an additional section that says removal prohibited. Because I would think that that should go under 101 and say
101's
that,
talking about a permit, and then the 102's talking about the grade of the sidewalk.
sidewalk became inadequate.
Yeah, I'm not even sure why they took it out.
Well, it was not in good shape for one. It used to be way up high. That's where all those guys took out all those trees.
All them trees.
And you told them that you gotta take those trees out. And so they took all the trees out, took the sidewalk out. But the sidewalk was way up there instead of just being right next to the curb. So basically it says it was inadequate, it was unsafe. And you can have the resolution of condemning or constructing a new sidewalk in a
But I
place to
think
be
we can
condemned.
put that, it can be moved from, you know, to the curb, but it has to be replaced.
right, but I mean, that would be construction, reconstruction, or repair.
To reconstruct or repair any sidewalk, and then
Right, and-
101A, it will be unlawful to remove and not replace any sidewalk.
I still think it should be,
101A. Mm-hmm, I agree.
okay.
Yep, okay.
So that covers it, so I think-
Mm-hmm.
So now, what happens to the ones that did already remove the sidewalk?
Well, I think we just got the one incident, don't we?
Well, we've had many,
So we've had
several, so what do you think about the ones previous to that?
that place Rob Schultz is down there, they didn't put sidewalk back way back when we tore that out.
Where at?
Down
Both
that
of
corner
those
right
lots.
across the street from them.
Across the street next door to it.
Kickens moved theirs,
Moving's one thing, moving it from 3 foot into out to the curb, and that's allowable, but putting it back, it just,
But I don't know if you can go back on them. I think if you're starting the ordinance now, it starts now, from this point on.
other than that one we did tell.
Oh, yeah, you guys told them, or we told them. But then we're kind of
'Cause it was
up in the
our
air. We were also up in the air on it for a long time too.
I'm trying to remember if that was taken out at their discretion, or if it was
well, I remember,
like you're saying, if it
Family
was
owned
tied
that.
into the trees.
it was in disrepair, because the trees uprooted the sidewalk, so you couldn't go back. When you took out the trees, you uprooted the sidewalk.
So what's the question on the table? Who's responsible?
We had one, yeah, we had one sidewalk, what's the street up there, help me out. It's across the street from the park,
Dennison?
Anderson,
Dennison and Jackson.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, was the tree in the owner's front yard?
Tree was in my property.
It was along
Was that
when
one
we
that
did the
came
street
out?
project.
I remember we had the conversation, but I think if the tree is in the homeowner's yard, it has to be the homeowner's responsibility.
But you guys condemned those trees when you did
Yeah.
the street.
That's right, we had.
All because they would, they
Right,
would
you
die
had
and
to
the
take
limbs
them out.
were at risk of
They
falling.
were pushing up the
I remember,
street, so,
yeah.
yeah.
That too.
But you allowed other trees on that same street to stay though,
Wait, why is this we and you business now?
because you were on there. I was not.
And that was not us, that was the engineers that came and said what trees had to go, so, like, that was really not us,
Right,
that was
but I think
engineer.
you were allowed to say, cause I remember the guy that took the trees out said, there was nothing wrong with those trees, we should probably not do it, so we left them. Now
I
I'm
don't
saying
know. I
we
mean,
left
we,
them.
we can't go back on the trees that we.
Why couldn't, then why do we need to go back to sidewalk?
That one is a slippery slope, he's right, because that was for the kind of the condemning that we put on those trees. We basically said they had to come out.
Mm-hmm.
I had to come out to fix, correct me if I'm wrong, fix curb and gutter and
And then
whatever
push up the
damage has
street.
been,
I
yeah,
think that's right. That was before me being superintendent.
yeah.
But the sidewalk was asked if he had to put it back in, and the council said yes. So that was
Well, we-
specifically,
They did, but they didn't. That went back and forth
but I thought we
14 times, but,
determined,
I don't
we
think
can
we
go back
actually
and
made,
look, I mean, that doesn't,
you know,
I
I
mean,
don't think we actually voted to say you have to put this sidewalk in, I think we just kept talking about it.
we can go back and look,
Yeah,
I remember that case was back when I was on,
yeah.
way back in the day. But I can't remember, yeah, I don't remember.
So, let's move on with this, cause we, I mean,
$13,110, I have a question about, and this is after hearing what Randy's been saying. Second line, for permanent or to store, leave, or allow, does there need to be a comma in there after leave?
Whose rules do you wanna use?
are we using the Oxford comment?
Most things have had the Oxford comma. I've been looking as we go.
Okay,
Okay,
Oxford comment.
And I've been putting in, I've caught like 3 more as we've been going through these, and I've just put them in.
Okay,
never even learned, I learned it the other way.
I learned the English grammar, spelling and writing, whatever that was.
No person shall walk upon, drive, or ride over or across. Isn't ride over and across the same thing?
I think
No.
over is with the street and across is crossing it.
yeah,
Okay.
Can I go back to 202, I'm sorry. Is it still a $5,000, bond? That we require? Or has it gone up?
we wanna check into that.
Is it,
Dan, is it over 10,000?
you, this is not a me check into it, or this is a me check into it?
Well, I didn't know on the bonding if that's, I mean, we had Jamie look at that stuff, if that would be something we needed to check into.
I'm making a note.
Okay, I don't know, I mean. do
I
you
just
think-
wanna make sure we're getting who is doing the follow-up.
Do we make them get bonds?
I remember that was one of the conversations we had with the tree service company, wasn't it? They had to be bonded?
That's have insurance.
And or, yeah, same thing,
Yeah.
right?
Because the
The
one,
second-
what was the one thing that we had a bond and insurance, and we were checking in on that?
Yeah, what was that?
I don't remember what that was, but there was one that we had them both listed. That's why I'm like, do we require insurance or do we require bonding? Like,
Was that the trash service we were using?
there was something we talked about the last one with the recodification,
Oh,
I
okay.
don't remember what it was. Anyway, Tammy, put it in your notes to look into.
Yeah.
Okay, 13-211 gets ruined my day more. We'll get rid of a bunch of stuff.
Can't find the call, it's 13-214. No street ball.
Or at or against any building or vehicle. That-
Kind of a backstop.
I know, right? Like,
Let's throw a ball down the street,
Several
chase it.
backstops I'd like to use that, yeah.
Oh my god.
do we,
13-214 uses the Oxford comma and then it doesn't use the Oxford comma, all in the same sentence.
Really?
13-215, do we need to add a red lantern to that if they're hauling material?
Wow.
Only if night watch is on.
We just want it consistent throughout.
Check into this night watch, man.
I know, might be a good paying.
Oh, I forgot about the night watchman.
Number 3, the night watchman rates might be worth doing.
Justin, 13-302, this might be a good one. That's not on top of that's the thing.
I had a question on, 305. You go down and read the, shall be immediately treated, removed, and burned, or immediately burned upon the premises.
Burn it right there.
Does that go back to the burning ban stuff?
Yeah, it says if safe to do so.
Yeah. I just want, that's the other thing, too.
Mhm.
As I say, it's safe to do so.
street, is, where do people take it if you don't put it in the street?
Supposed to pile it on your own property.
Mhm.
Which one are you on?
13-401, number, section B.
I just don't know how you get around all that, there's no way.
I don't know either. I don't know how you make that.
I don't think you'll take it out.
On my driveway, I could throw it in my yard.
Mhm.
But some people's houses aren't set up the same as mine,
Mhm.
so it might be, they might have to carry it 10 feet to go put it in the yard.
Now you could,
Or you, I can imagine taking every scoop out of the
push it
driveway,
from,
throw it in the yard that way.
Street all the way.
Call Lancy, push it to the street, and he'll take care of it for you.
Well, and I guess why we,
All the way to Maine.
Yep.
part of the problem we have is people going around cleaning off the streets
With their own equipment.
with their own equipment, and they pile it to where then it doesn't drain, and then we cause more problems. And I
Yeah,
don't know if
our
you
church
want-
has that issue. Like,
Really?
we'll have a 15-foot wall, you know, and well, we appreciate the work, but you can't even see the church from Main Street,
Yeah,
so.
I was almost wondering if we wanna add something in there that, I mean, we have, you can't move it from private to personal or public property, but
So you're talking about whether or not we need to add for somebody doing
private
that.
citizens
private
moving snow and
citizens.
blocking drainage. Because then the guys spend how much time digging that out, Dan? I mean, it takes our resources to go move the snow to
We-
get the water.
We literally were 3 months after that big snow a couple years ago, before that wall of snow was melted off. It was crazy.
Have we put that out? I'm asking. Have we put that out on the clerk link to see if what other cities have done? Like, in
Sure.
the week and a half, 2 weeks that you've been here, have you put that on?
Yeah, well, the
We've had so much
blizzard,
snow.
the
that-
blizzard
yeah.
last week, I went ahead and took care of that.
I wonder if we just wanna check and see, I think we have, maybe make a note of that. I think we have, looked to see what other cities do. I just,
Summer County finds it, or Gillen used to.
mhm.
For putting it out in the street.
The hospital's one that causes the most issues.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Dan about that, I mean, they normally push it to the center of the
just-
street and you guys pick it up, don't you?
There's,
Well, that's what Brock does too, over at the bank, and a lot of that stuff.
yeah, but if we don't enact snow routes, we're not blading that, and then all that snow gets pushed out, and I think that's part of why we have all the problems with the concrete, cause it's freezing, the banks are shading it to where it's freezing,
Yeah.
and it's breaking out that concrete, and that's why I don't think we wanna take this out, you know, because I think it's causing problems to our streets, but I also wonder if we wanna put something in for moving snow on public streets and or piling snow.
I don't know,
That
like,
blocks
like I said,
drainage.
the hospital, they push it all out from in front of the clinic, and they either go to, Adams, or they go to Quincy and push it out in the middle of those streets, and it's like, they'll need to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
Well, between the hospital and the clinic, they always, or at least, correct me if I'm wrong, but they used to push it to the middle of that street, which is between the hospital and the clinic.
But then people
think
couldn't
they've
walk between the two, so
Yeah.
They started pushing it out.
Pushing it out.
that's when they started pushing more of it out into the two side streets, which then
If the
they're,
city blades it, that's one thing, cause then
but we don't blade Quincy, we probably should, but
Quincy's a snow route.
we have when it's real bad.
That's what I'm saying, if we don't enact snow routes, then we're not doing anything with that snow, correct, Dan? So it's one thing if it's,
But you guys still are going by the hospital and picking up snow if we have a big storm, aren't you? Yeah. I think the city guys have always been good about trying to get the stuff cleaned up around the hospital.
mhm.
Yeah, cause
In fact,
you
a lot of
gotta
people,
get the ambulance there too.
well, a lot of
so-
people say, well, why are you cleaning that before you do Main Street? It's like, well, because that's the priority.
Yeah.
What'd be nice
if
if,
you're-
I don't know, some of the business owner would just go ahead and push the street.
Wait,
Um,
you had
before
people ask
it's-
that question?
Think about it.
Yeah, if they get their sidewalks, especially on Washington,
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they guys can come and scoop it all off.
I know, they want it cleaned off early, but they don't get there to scoop their own sidewalk off till
Exactly.
right before 8 o'clock, and so then the city guys,
I've already
Do
been
come.
down it.
they've already done it, then they complain because of the snow.
There's
And
what that night watch
if they
was
wait
doing.
till 8 to do it, then by the time the city guys get there to go clean out, they've got their customers parked in the
Mhm.
snowbank that they
Yeah.
pushed off the sidewalk.
Yeah.
That's where that night watch might come effect.
Yep.
Tell them, yeah,
All right,
Red
we
line
are
or-
digressing,
Yeah.
we are losing steam, I think.
I lost steam at 7 o'clock.
Question I had about this, the snow routes is, if we implement snow routes, does it include all of these streets every time?
It's just the snow route.
Huh?
It would be the snow route.
That's what I'm asking, that hasn't changed.
Mm-mm.
I don't think on 13,509 that we've ever really enforced anything on that, have we? Call some people up and say, hey, you have to do this.
Most people are pretty good about getting off the
Yeah.
snow routes, but some have issues.
Remember the one year we had a TD car parked on the snow route? It was that,
It was
Daryl,
buried, wasn't it?
yeah, Daryl, what do we do if somebody parks on the snow routes? Well, you write them a ticket. Yay.
The cop car.
Cop car.
Will all of these on 506, will all of these remain the same if and when, we do that work up on the highway and we may not have as many? You see what I'm saying?
You're still gonna have, yeah. That's,
College.
I guess we'll worry about that when it happens.
I was like, that
that's
is,
too far.
that
ahead.
is slaying dragons before they hatch.
Yeah. We might recodify 3 or 4 times before that happens.
Okay,
Since 509 was brought up, would suggest that the council chooses an amount so that if somebody does get a ticket, they don't have to go to court and we don't have to have a picture and try and prove that they were parked there. We can just put a fine on the ticket and they can go in and pay. Because if it says up to or not to
I don't think
exceed,
that's all, that's parking. So that's just an Article 5, okay.
Maybe put first offense and then it's,
Second offense?
first offense fairly cheap and then,
Per vehicle?
ooh. Yeah, cause there's
Or per
more.
offense?
The way you make it sound, if you say up to $250, are you asking to set a specific amount?
yeah. Because otherwise otherwise it goes to
They have
court.
go to court.
And then they have a first appearance, and then I will offer them a plea agreement, and if they don't take it, then we have to go to court, and then I have to call in a deputy to come in and testify with the body cam footage of writing the ticket. And I have to review that body cam footage, and I have to prepare that deputy for giving testimony before and I just don't think that the amount you're going to pay me to do that is going to be recouped
Not with 250.
Yeah.
with $250. And so, I mean,
Then again,
I have no problem doing it.
you have to get a ticket written too.
Can we just change that?
I'd say $100.
First
let me play
offense?
devil's advocate, because we're talking about someone who leaves a car parked on a snow route, correct? Basically.
Yeah.
So what if we have this 82-year-old woman, weather's turned quickly,
Mhm.
and by the time she realizes it's gonna be that bad, because she doesn't watch TV,
But nothing.
it's already got 6 inches of snow outside, so she can't go out and move it then. What do, I mean, those things happen.
I mean, she can still come to court, but by setting a fine,
And here,
it doesn't have to go to court. Somebody can come in and pay it. If they want to fight it, then they come into court. But if they,
But in that instance, is she coming to court because she's old? Or or was he just
Well,
simply
here's
not
the-
able
I
to move
mean-
it?
I mean, she's coming to court because she was in violation of the ordinance. I mean, our code doesn't say you get to do this if you're not, you get to violate it if you're 90. I mean, it's like property cleanup. If you're old in your house, I mean,
They probably shouldn't have a vehicle in the first place. If they can't get out and move it whenever necessary, they probably should not have
Or
a
have a
vehicle.
neighbor or somebody that
Or
can
have a
come and
neighbor come move it
for
for them.
I'm
and
sure
it's
there'd
very
be a-
rare that we, and it's
there'd
very
be a
rare that we
warning
don't
and it
have
would
a
have to be
warning.
Yeah.
repeat offense, and we would have to have a lot of snow for it to be a repeat, you know,
Yeah,
like,
which would be a good problem to have.
yes, right now it would be.
I think $100 sounds
I-
reasonable.
$100,
I just say $700.
Flat fee?
$100.
Okay.
Be done with it?
Is
And then
that
if
per
you do get
vehicle?
it, I just leave it alone.
What, is that $100 per
Per
vehicle, or?
I would think it would be, wouldn't it?
So if you had two
$100
vehicles
per
parked on
vehicle.
the
Yeah.
street, it should be $200, yeah.
Okay. Street
$100 per offense. So if you have two vehicles.
Yeah,
That's two offenses.
yep,
Mhm.
okay.
Okay.
Have we ever had a heavy snow traffic emergency versus a excavation or traffic emergency?
The heavy snow is now we have to put chains on.
Just that change of four-wheel drive could be at all. Be at the declaration says, under B, it says to operate a motor vehicle on emergency snow route in such a manner or condition that such motor vehicle stalls or is unable to proceed by reason of the fact that driving wheels are not equipped with tire chains or snow tires. So if one gets stuck and don't have tire chains or snow tires on, it's illegal.
Yeah, they're supposed to be,
Yeah.
The last time we had snow that deep, that was probably 2006.
Yeah. If not before then. Anything in Article 7?
no,
Are we good with chapter 13?
What's that?
Are we good with chapter
I think
13?
so.
I think so.
Who had traffic 14?
Number 14?
Through this, I think?
That's me. Okay,
Hold on. Let me get, hold on.
again, we have the edition of 2022 here. Will need to be updated.
Oh, the STO, yeah. The
Um,
ordinance numbers.
Under the penalty and fines of the 103, which the municipal judge establishes fine, and a fine schedule shall not be less than $10 or more than 100, except for speeding, should be less than 10.
Didn't we already set those, Lauren?
We did.
We did do a fine, we just updated the fine
Okay.
schedule not that long ago.
Okay.
So,
I'll check it to make sure it's in compliance with what we
have,
have.
okay,
Okay, more the King's English here on 14-202, I don't know if it's a legal term, but no person shall operate or halt any vehicle. Is halt a legal term?
Hold on.
Halt is in stop.
yeah, I think it's probably,
If we can say or stop.
I mean,
Where,
that kind of fits in with the night watchman and red
I
lanterns
know.
and Griffey's
Who goes
and.
there?
Where are you?
14-202, no
I think
person
it'd
shall
be
operate
fine.
or halt.
Vehicle would be high chain from the rear axle and back around posts.
I would halt a horse-drawn wagon.
Maybe it didn't get updated when they changed it from horse-drawn wagon to
Yeah.
vehicle.
I will look to see if halt is defined in the STO,
Okay,
because it might be, so I will look,
And that fine there too, if that fits with what careless driving prohibited. Fine
Right.
if not less than 50, no more than 250.
I'm sure, I think we
That should cover.
I think we have a careless driving, in which case we would just take that out.
Okay.
So I'll make a note of that.
the only other one is, and I don't know what we do about it, but on a daily basis, I see 14-204, just abused and abused and.
On Main Street,
Yeah,
downtown?
everywhere on Main Street, even in front of the courthouse, and I see it
All the way up and
all the
down.
time.
Right in front of the signs that say no bicycles.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
and so I don't know what you do about that, cause it's not stopping, it's not slowing down, and in fact, it's, and if we had more people moving in from the Denver area who are less familiar with all this stuff. I remember my mother-in-law would move here, she goes, what is a no J-turn? We had to explain it to her,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know what you do on that, but it just seems to get worse, not better.
You think it's mainly kids?
I don't know, I don't stick around long enough to see who's driving, I can see it happening
No, I know.
almost on a
The
daily
bikes.
basis.
The bicycles,
What's it?
bicycles, mainly kids?
No, I'm talking about the J-turn.
Well, yeah.
Is that J-turn the fine as well, Lauren?
I'll check into it.
$10, $50. I don't know.
That happens all the time.
There's the one that got
One of the
fixed.
signs.
Yeah, well, they're so faded
Especially when the
now.
cops make them do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, if
Yeah.
you're pulling it over here, it's considered a parking lot.
I would argue,
Yeah.
I would
I would
too, that's
disagree with
what
that.
is
That's-
but
done
I've
by
seen,
the cops.
I've seen them do it downtown.
So, am I illegal to come down Main Street and then turn into out here?
No, you're turning in.
Or turn into
You, it'd be illegal to turn and park.
But I'm
in front.
making a J-turn to get in.
No, you're not.
No, you're not, you're making a left-hand turn.
Well, that's what it says at G2, a sign is making a left-hand turn across.
And parking. Anyways,
In order to park at or pull adjacent to the opposite curb, not in order to enter a parking lot
yeah,
or an alley or anything that's not.
What you're talking about.
That's a parking lot.
that
Parking
to me
lot.
is not a parking.
That's
If
what
you
they're
aim in one direction, you have to be.
And even if you're not defining it as a parking lot, you're turning onto private property. You're not turning to park adjacent to or along the sidewalk.
Alright, we digress.
Okay, the only other thing I have here is 14-306, under A. We have one word, generally, period.
Generally.
Generally, I don't even know if that's a sentence, but.
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
it's a caption.
It's a caption,
It's a caption.
okay.
It's
So-
just not,
Should it
It's-
have a colon there, should it have a period?
All of the
Generally,
other ones have periods. Like
Okay.
if you look down to
Period,
14307
period.
on which is at the top of the next page, it says hearing. Period. It's
Okay.
it's the
It just
title.
seemed weird with one word, but okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's bolded
just
in this,
not
yeah.
bolded.
yeah, but B is security for payment of charges. Period.
Okay.
I mean, it's a heading.
Okay. See if that's all I had.
I got something,
Oh,
What's that?
well, now keep going. Are we done?
14-314.
314?
Yeah, reimbursement for discharged liens. If a lien created by section 14-308 and held by a private record or towing firm is discharged by section 14-308 pursuant to a determination by a hearing examiner that an impoundment was improper and that the city shall bear part or all of the towing and storing charges, the city shall pay the firm, which is a record firm, the amount determined by the hearing examiner. My question is, who do we use for that, and if we use, I think we use, how do we handle that when, if, we're not being recorded, are we?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, I don't know how we do it,
If an impoundment was improper?
yes.
So this is just saying the city towed something they shouldn't have, because we just recently had this happen. That's what this is talking about, like you towed something and it shouldn't have been towed, then the city foots the bill.
I don't know why I'm the one who's
I don't know.
supposed to be authorizing this either.
I apologize, we didn't contact you when that happened here recently.
It just seems like a slippery slope to me.
I also don't think that I should be the one making this determination. I think this needs to say mayor or governing body,
Yeah, I think it probably should say,
because I don't think that,
no payment shall be made until it is authorized by the governing body, I would say.
okay.
Okay.
Because if there's any legalities about it, we would have to consult you, so.
Right. I mean, and there's
But I
gonna be, there's gonna be a hearing examiner.
I don't know who the hearing examiner would be.
We've had this one time before and it was Judge Keller. It was the, I mean, I don't know if, it was supposed to be Judge Keller, but we just did it in municipal court.
Yeah.
If you
So
get-
your question was if we,
It's a little more complex than that, we can talk
okay,
about it.
yeah,
If we make a mistake,
yeah, that's if we make a mistake and that's really something we shouldn't have.
Okay, under 14-702, under subsetting, section B. Correct me if I'm wrong, but back when I was on, way back in the day, we required golf cart owners to have a flag above the car, so in case drivers can see the carts clearly. Is that still an issue? If it is, I don't see that anywhere in here. Unless I just missed
Well, it
it.
says display a slow-moving vehicle emblem, but I think we changed that to flag.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
What
sure
is
we
a
did.
smoke, is that like a sticker?
That's that trend,
fine.
that,
Oh, okay.
remember, we changed it because that's hard to see.
Right.
We even had Cody in that discussion, cause instead of flags gonna be sticking up in the air and you're gonna be able
We'll be able
to
to
see
see
that.
it easier.
Mhm.
Okay.
So yeah, that, slow-moving vehicle emblem was changed to a flag, I'm pretty sure.
Got something on Article 7 too, like we're gonna kinda bring up too.
What section?
Article 7,
Okay, but what section in Article
whole
7?
thing. We'll start with 1. Letting UTVs, ATVs, and golf carts actually drive on Main Street on the access road. Because it is cost-effective transportation, it is less wear and tear on the road, because it's a lighter vehicle. And then you get more people on business going to each of these places on Main Street because it's easier to access. And there are a lot more towns adopting the same thing.
are these licensed vehicles?
Yes, UTV is licensed, you have to have a sticker, you have to have help, you have to have registration, you have to have insurance. If you're paying for all this, you should
I
be
know
licensed.
for golf carts, it says they're not allowed on any street that you can go faster than 30 miles an hour, but that doesn't apply to any, to Main Street, so.
No, I just think I think part of probably why it was implemented is because you have people backing up that they can't, golf carts,
You don't
ATVs
see
are
it.
gonna be harder to see.
But
than-
you got bicycles, you got motorcycles, you got anything and everything, scooters. You can't see them anymore, you can a UTV or a golf cart, especially when you got a flag.
And kids with the electric bicycles.
I mean,
Or
those are all
adults.
allowed. You got a motorcycle with, 2 wheels, can't see them half the time, 'cause you got that. When and also, when, the legislator enacted the Senate Bill 63 in 2019 with these UTVs, that if you're ag-related, you could just drive on, as long as it's ag-related, on any federal state highway.
You wouldn't be able to on city streets. I mean, if we say you can't on these streets,
Right, but then you'd have a permit to enact in the city streets, though. Just like you would any place else. The access road, it's safer to have a UTV on the access road.
well, not really.
Not really.
A UTV
You could lose the
is,
front end on,
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not safe to have anything on
Well,
the
it's-
access road.
it's easier to access stuff there too than to have a vehicle.
it is easier to pick up.
It's cost effective. And we're coming up too with,
It's easier to pick up a body on the frontage road if they're in a two-wheeler class.
If they're in a golf cart, it throws them out, so you don't have to worry about extracting them from the vehicle.
And they're not gonna be going 40 miles.
Okay, so the pros are more accessibility, easier on the roads,
Cost effective, it's cheaper.
cost effective. The cons are visibility and the risk of,
But you have the same visibility because you have lights, you have brakes, and like bicycles and motorcycles,
yeah.
you could use your hand signals. There'd be less people really on Main Street in their vehicles because they could use their golf carts.
And there's some that do already.
Well, yeah, there's.
But is it, I mean, it's not that difficult to pull up on a side street to go to a business on Main Street, is it? I mean,
I mean,
that's what they do now.
kinda is, if I wanna go to True Value, I have to go park all the way,
Got a long ways.
long ways to walk to get my stuff, or, you know, technically I'm not supposed to go to the lumberyard to drive on Main Street to get into the parking lot, or pull out of the parking lot to get back on Main Street to go in there either, so. I think there's a lot of older people have more accessibility to just drive where they want to, because a lot more older people are in this town, have golf carts.
What do you think this would be applicable to half of our residents?
There's a lot of ATVs and stuff around town.
Would you add ATV and golf cart, when you combine them like he's talking about?
As long as the city is, since getting the permit, they're getting the $10.
But,
And so I just think that's, if we wanna raise the, if it's the case of just raising the permit, like $15, then well, you have the access to all the Main Street.
and realistically, you're only gonna be talking probably from April to maybe November.
This
The
year
other
you'd
months are gonna
be,
too
but,
cold.
I mean, this year you'd be year round.
Yeah.
This year you'd be year round. We would have
Yeah,
80
this
degrees
year
in
would be.
February.
Typically,
But some of them
But-
have the,
A lot of them are heated, have the
yeah,
heated enclosures.
not golf cars,
No,
No, but the
but
ATVs.
ATVs, yeah,
some of the
But
golf
it's
carts
like
have the
a-
plastic covering though, that
yeah,
they still,
I'm still not doing it.
no.
but at golf carts, as long as they have lights, they can work. If they don't have lights, then they can't drive on Main Street or any other street because they don't have lights at night.
Oh, that's right, 'cause they
We're
have
not
that,
supposed
yeah,
to
you're
drive
right.
at night anyways.
Right, so I just think it's a lot beneficial for the city to have people that have these things, to utilize them all around Main Street, since they have driver license, insurance, and they got the permit. Now you are allowed to go across the highway. And really, some cities have put ordinances, on state highways that go less than 30, or less than 45. Technically, you could on a state highway, but I think that would probably be a little bit too much.
I don't think we wanna get into.
But that's why we have the access road. I think having the access road, you're able to go most of the whole way and not utilize the highway.
I guess before we change, maybe we should check with law enforcement and just make sure.
But it's not up to law enforcement, it's up to us to enact that ordinance.
True.
And if, to be frankly, they're not doing any enacting or anything anyway, so.
Yeah, I don't know that it would be an issue with them.
I mean, I get tired of doing the same thing of pulling my end when I see I see the cop and I see a golf cart going down Main Street. So,
Well, that's what I get frustrated with the J turns, is every time I see someone, there's never a police officer around. 'Cause I know with J turns, they would probably do something if they saw it,
yeah.
cause we harp on it so much, but
Well, and that's just it, I mean, they don't take something out of the ordinance just because it's not being enforced if we want it to be enforced.
Well, I just think it's not really doing the public any service by not utilizing Main
I mean,
Street.
I feel like it is because that's heavily traffic area, that keeping them off of there to work.
It's no
if they're
heavier
not
than
licensed.
College Street or Benton Street.
But I mean, you've got people
You're
parked,
you're doing the same laws, you're doing the same thing you're supposed to be with any vehicle. They're just small, and you're using less of the lane, so you'll be able to park in, go out, get your groceries, go back home.
And an ATV, cause I don't have one, I don't think I've ever been in one. If you were tootling down the road, like you hear an emergency vehicle coming behind you, easy if they have their, okay. So that wouldn't be an obstacle.
No.
Um,
And if we're worried about people not being able to see, well, most of the time they're not able to see a bigger vehicle anyway, so, and you just said, if that older lady couldn't move that car, then they shouldn't have been driving in the first place. At the same time, these people are doing what's law abiding to them. They're getting the permit, getting the insurance, doing the driver's license. I just think we should utilize the whole city. It's a small city.
I don't know if you have a choice on the state or the.
I was
like
gonna say, the
access
highway's
road.
gotta
Access you would,
Access isn't ours.
That's just.
I know that, but some of those you can though. I would disagree on that one. Maybe not the state, but on the access road you probably could.
I'm just saying, this access road's not our road then.
Right, but we have, but like I said, there are ordinances, as long as the city comes up with the ordinance, the state allows that.
I'd like to see it fixed to pour out
What's that?
the access
Yeah.
road.
Well, I guess you guys can think on that if you want to, unless you guys wanna, that's up to you.
Well, I think we need more discussion on it at some point. I understand what he's talking about, it's understood.
Before we finalize stuff, if you
Yeah.
guys wanna think about it, cause I mean, that's a simple, take out those 2 streets or not, so.
And I do think, cause I know it's a hard decision, but I just think it'd be wise to maybe have Cody come in here and pitch that to him, and say, okay, could you, from y'all's standpoint, could you see anything that we're not thinking of, from your standpoint, that you might run into, just so we at least are educated on it, so.
From a safety standpoint, then you also gotta look at an enforcement standpoint.
Yeah,
That's already been done.
okay, well, we will think on that one. Let me forget. Who had- who was that? Who was that today?
Yeah, and under 14 here, I think that was it for me, so
Okay,
14.
on the truck route, did we ever get signs put up?
I don't think so.
Okay, so that's something we could put up, truck routes, and then we could enforce them.
I can look and see.
Okay. Jen and I were just having that discussion. That
We've talked
Wayne
about it.
Apple, but did we ever actually get signage up, cause,
I don't think so.
okay.
Where would we put the signs?
What's that?
Where would we put the signs?
Right, that's your question.
Highway,
I would agree.
on our side,
Mhm.
by the time we turn, it's too late.
Well, at least if they're on the truck route, yeah, they'll know for the next go around.
So you're, based on what you just said, we can't put them in the medians.
That's
Meetings
state.
on ours.
I realize that.
Would we,
I mean, I was already called about the, I guess they were 30-mile-an-hour signs
Oh,
up
were
there. Yeah, I seen them, they're still up there. I was already called about them because one of them was turned the wrong way and people were thinking they had to slow down 30 on the highway. So Brent called me, and he said we also had the truck
No
Like
truck
the
up by
signs.
Eagle.
in front of Eagle, and I said, well, that ain't enforced anyway, so I don't know what.
According to 810, we're supposed to have it.
That's what I'm like, I don't know that we ever got, yeah, it's in our ordinance that we're to have it posted, so I
Yeah, I don't
suppose
think we ever had to.
add it to our list of things to. Okay. Utilities, are we wanting to plug through and finish, guys? It's
This is
10.
it, isn't it?
15 and 16.
16, we have 2
And both
chapters.
of those are buds.
Do we wanna just hold off?
Well, he won't be back till, will he be back for the next meeting?
Do we wanna just have a,
Do we have his notes?
no,
Okay.
well, then that answers that question, doesn't it?
What?
If they were his and we don't have his notes, we can't have them go through them,
Right.
so.
I still don't know what happened to him.
Are we going to be doing this after a regular meeting, or are we setting another special meeting?
We got two chapters, surely we have a shortened meeting at the next meeting, right? And just get them kicked out. We'll keep Jamie from talking so much at the next meeting so we can get done in time so we can discuss.
I know, I caused so much problems. If only I'd shut up.
I've got two stacks here. I just, and I've got extra stuff too, I don't know. I just don't know
Looks
how
like
to
there's two
use that back
stacks.
there.
Somebody stole my pen.
And, you want an extra one?
No, I stole his.
Is somebody, are we adjourning?
Do we hear a motion to adjourn?
So,
Second.
Larry, David,